You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Then it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look at better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper than again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the third part of What If Naruto Enters My Life as a Teenage Robot. Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. A few days later. It had been a few days since the incident with Smitus, and Naruto was now inside his lab at his workbench putting the finishing touches on the Dimension Ator. As he was working, the elevator door opened and Brad and Sheldon walked into the lab. "Welcome Mr. Folly and Mr. Lee," Kit said, greeting the two teens. "Hey Kit," Brad said as he waved at the AI's image on the computer screen. "So why did you call? Is that phase quartz?" Sheldon was asking before he spotted the Dimension Ator, which had said or showing. "Yup, I got lucky a few days ago," Naruto said with a smile as he took off his goggles and looked at his finished weapon with some pride. "Dude, you're not gonna use that to go after Vexus because of your mom, are you?" Brad asked as he frowned a bit. "I see Jenny has been talking to you," Naruto said as he sighed. "Yeah, 'cause she's worried about you and what you will do if you see her again," Brad said as his frown deepened. Sheldon hunched over depressed at this, as while he didn't have any experience with girls he could tell what was going on with Naruto and Jenny. "Jenny doesn't need to worry about me, I'm plenty capable of handling this on my own," Naruto said as he carried the Dimension Ator over to the weapon vault. "Maybe you should relax, dude, the school dance is soon, maybe you should ask girl to it," Brad said as Naruto loaded the Dimension Ator into the weapons vault. "I must say I agree, why not ask Miss Jenny?" Kit asked curiously. Naruto paused at this as he thought about this and lightly smiled at the idea but frowned as he shook his head. "Look, I'll deal with that later, first I want to take this on a test run," he said as he closed the weapons vault. "Well, that's some progress," Brad said with a sigh at this. "Are you sure this is a good idea? You're testing a weapon with an unstable power source?" Sheldon asked as they all entered the elevator. "Relax, what's the worst that could happen?" Naruto said as the elevator door closed and started to take the three teens up. With Himawari. Meanwhile, Himawari, Tuck and Kurama were inside the tree house. "Are you sure it's a good idea to invite Tac up here?" Tuck asked curiously. "Why not? You're the one always telling me I should interact with other kids," Himawari said as she looked at Tuck curiously. "We don't know anything about her, Hima, plus do you really want to get her involved with this sim stuff?" Tuck asked as she raised an eyebrow. "You're involved with it and you're pretty stable," Himawari said as she shrugged. "You call me needing a hit off the sonic screwdriver stable? By the way, what did you erase anyway?" Tuck asked curiously. "Not important," Himawari said quickly as Tac poked her head into the tree house. "Ah, Hima, you're here in this tree house, how quaint," Tac said as she looked around at the tree house and lightly smirked. "Welcome to the madhouse," Himawari said with a smile of her own. "Please ignore the robot kitsune looking at you," Tuck said as he looked at Kurama with a raised eyebrow as he looked at Tac curiously. Tac ignored this as she looked around the tree house, pausing as she looked at the coral board displaying all the information Himawari had gathered on Kushina Uzumaki, causing her eyes to narrow as she looked at a picture of an adult Kushina. "You know her?" she asked with an annoyed tone. "Oh yeah, that's my mom," Himawari said as she looked at the picture. "Yeah, Hima's mom is some kind of space hero that disappeared when she was a baby and her brother was a little kid," Tuck said as shrugged. Take's eyes slightly widened at this before she grit her teeth and her eyebrow started to twitch violently. "Are you doing okay, Tac?" Himawari asked, raising an eyebrow at this. "Yes. I'm fine. Tell me more about your brother." Tac yelled out with a very forced smile. Well, if you're curious about Naruto, now's a good time to meet him, Tac said with a bewildered look at Himawari as he pointed out of the window. Tac quickly looked out of the window and saw Naruto, Brad and Sheldon walking into the front yard. The Dimension Ator appeared in Naruto's hands, making Tac's eyes widen before she smiled evilly as her eyes slightly glitched. Kurama, noticing this, started to growl as he started to approach Tac. "Kurama, what's wrong, hey?" Himawari yelled before what looked like electric webbing hit her from behind, binding her in place and shocking her lightly. As she fell, what looked like a robot that looked similar to Gir was shown to be behind Himawari. "Excellent, Mimi," Tac said with a smile at this. "Hima!" Tac yelled as he moved to help her, but he too was shot by Mimi's hand blaster, also binding him with electric webs. Kurama barked at the little robot, but it quickly moved to Tac's side. "I must thank you too for leading me to such a discovery. The Hima, as thanks I'll let you and your human companion live this time," Tac said as she looked at Himawari and her image faded away to reveal what looked like a Urkin female with purple eyes. "Another Urkin?" Himawari asked as she struggled to grab the sonic screwdriver in her back pocket. "Are you working with Zim?" Tac asked curiously. Tac growled at this before she quickly composed herself. "I don't need to explain myself to you, filthy human. Now if you excuse me, I'll be taking your mother's Dimension Ator, which your brother seems to have foolishly finished," she said as she turned to the window. "Dimension what?" Himawari asked as she grabbed the sonic screwdriver in her back pocket and started DTO fiddled with. "It's of no consequence to you, Mimi, let's go," Tac said to her Robf as what looked like a spaceship suddenly appeared in front of the window, which she got on along with her robot before taking off. "DMN it!" Himawari yelled as she finally freed herself with the sonic screwdriver. "Still think it was a good idea to befriend Tac?" Tac asked with a grumble. "Shut up and let's go," Himawari said as she quickly freed Tac before sliding down the ladder out of the treehouse. "After Tac?" Tac asked as he and Kurama followed. "No, we're gonna get some information from Zim first," Himawari said as she led the way across the street. As they walked, suddenly the sky above them suddenly turned purple as what looked like tears in space started to fill the sky. "Oh, that's comforting," Tac said with a look of concern. Himawari's eyes narrowed at this before she looked at Zim's house and saw what looked like a purple lightning strike hit the antenna on the roof as Zim's laughter was heard. "Earlier with Naruto." "Naruto, I still say you should wait to test this thing," Brad said as he and Sheldon followed Naruto out of the work shed. "Yeah, you should at least get a second opinion from Miss Wakeman," Sheldon said as he frowned as Naruto made the Dimension Ator appear in his hand. "Look, I'm just gonna test it, hey," Naruto was saying before Tac rode by on her spaceship, snatching the Dimension Ator from him as she passed by. "Foolish spawn of the Uzumaki. You have sealed your planet's doom," Tac yelled as she flew off. Naruto glared at this before he activated his rocket boots to boost his jump and quickly flew off. After Tac rushing after them as the Urkin female took off into the sky. Naruto rushed after her, chasing the ship through the park. He jumped across the nearby tree, latching onto a branch, swinging into the air, hovering above, kicking off the air after the flying ship. Naruto ran across and jumped onto the ship using the magna boots to stick to Tac's ship. Tac pulled on the lever, speeding up her pace up, taking to the sky, Naruto hanging onto her ship thanks to his grappling hook which he threw onto the ship. Tac saw Naruto hanging on, she sneered at the boy's resilience but then gained a sinister grin, increasing the speed up. Naruto yelped as the ship pulled him along, swinging him around like a rag doll. Naruto grit his teeth, looking over to a nearby car, kicking the rooftop off into the air. He planted his feet down on the rooftop, sliding and burning along the asphalt. Naruto turned his makeshift board to the side, sliding off the numerous cars, performing a flip mid-air. Tac growled, coming over to a construction site as two men were carrying a large tunnel piece. Naruto saw an incoming tunnel and quickly let go of the rope as he spun around it, coming out in the air. He saw himself in the air. He latched grappling hook onto the balanced beam, swinging onto it, rushing forward. He jumped after Tac's ship. Tac shakes the ship wildly, attempting to throw Naruto off, but he was stuck like glue. Tac pulled out the Dimension Ator, holding it up to Naruto. "Take this, brat." Tac shouted, firing off a blast. Colliding to the ground was a large purple alien octopus-like creature with a single eye and large blue brain, latching its tentacle onto Naruto's leg, pulling him off the ship. Naruto quickly pulled out a blaster of his own. "Ugh, DMNU ugly," Naruto said. Suddenly several more portals opened around him. Emerging from one was a massive black triceratops with red marks on the horns, along with strange flying demons dressed in green and yellow bodysuits with bat wings. "What the hell is this?" Naruto said, pulling out twin burst pistols. Rushing it, he slid down, evading the swiping tentacle, and fired off a barrage blast into the face of the monster, causing it to scream in agony before another shot fired into his mouth, blasting through, causing it to fall to the ground. Naruto jumped into the air, spinning around, shooting off in all directions, hitting the demons dead into, hitting through their chests. Naruto kicked one in the chin, followed by a spin kick to the stomach, knocking it, shooting both in the head. Naruto turns to the Triceratops, getting ready to charge like a bull, aiming its horns at Naruto. He crossed his arms in an X block, watching as the Triceratops charged full speed at him. Flipping the switches on the riffles, turning up the output, he took aim. Both pistols gathered energy, and with a loud cry he fired off a massive blast, shooting the Triceratops, creating a massive explosive blast, pushing Naruto back from the attack while the creature fell to the ground. Tac looked down with shock before she growled as she took aim with the Dimension Ator. "This isn't over," Tac shouted, preparing to fire. "Yes it is," Naruto said before he took aim, firing off his own blast, hitting the Dimension Ator. Sparks flew and circuits shocked, causing Tac to drop the device. A massive beam of energy erupted into the sky. "What have you done? What have you done?" Tac screamed, watching the sky turn dark purple with lines of green breaking apart through the sky. Naruto's eyes widened as what looked like portals started to fill the sky. He then looked down at the damaged Dimension Ator, which was still sparking, and as it shook, the pause quartz started to crack. "Naruto!" Brad and Sheldon yelled as they quickly started to approach the area. "Stay back. It's going nuts!" Naruto yelled as he ran at the Dimension Ator to save the phase quartz. He jumped at it as the cracked phase quartz flew out of the destroyed Dimension Ator. He quickly grabbed it, and as he grabbed it, Naruto started to glow purple as the phase quartz started to pulse even more. As it pulsed, Naruto started to shake, and what looked like 5 images of himself started to appear behind him. Only the images of himself all looked different from each other. Suddenly the phase quartz shattered into 6 pieces and a big explosion of purple energy went off, engulfing Naruto. "Naruto!" Brad yelled out in a panic as he and Sheldon watched as 5 of the phase quartz pieces flew into the sky and into one of the portals. Sheldon quickly ran over to the remaining shard and grabbed it just as the purple energy that had engulfed Naruto faded, leaving a figure on the ground where Naruto had been. "Naruto, are you okay, oi?" Brad yelled as he ran over to Naruto, but jumped back as the figure took a swing at him with something. "Is that a bass guitar?" Sheldon asked with a raised eyebrow as he and Brad looked at the new figure. He looked very similar to Naruto, only he was wearing a orange jacket, a orange scarf, a pair of goggles was around his neck, and he seemed to have what looked like a holster on his back, for the guitar was holding like a baseball bat. "You bet your butt it is. A Rickenbacker 4001 to be precise. Now where the hell am I? Is this another surprise test from the quack? I just got off ice, for F's sake let me have a break." The dead ringer for Naruto yelled at the sky. "And Naruto?" Brad and Sheldon asked, their eyes widening as this guy looked like Naruto and sounded like him but was very different. Earlier with Jenny. Jenny was at the mall just leaving the dress shop along with some other girls from school. She was carrying a box that had the new dress she had bought for the dance. "I know this dress will get Naruto's attention," Jenny said with a smile as she looked at the box. "Do my ears deceive me?" Brit's voice called out, getting Jenny's attention, causing her to look behind her and seeing Brit and Tiff approaching her with condescending smiles on their faces. "I don't think so, cause I think the cyborg is trying to get the attention of Uzumaki," Tiff said as they both approached Jenny. "Maybe I am, what of it?" Jenny asked as she slightly glared at the cousins. We just find it interesting that you would go for a boy that is a weirdo like you instead of someone that could help you socially, darling, Brit said as she waved her hand dismissively. Well, she could do worse. Maybe he can help her with maintenance, Tiff said with a smirk. This got a laugh from Brit while Tiff joined her in laughing at this. Jenny growled at this as her nanobots went crazy behind her as they were reacting to her emotions. But before Jenny could respond to this, Sue heard some yelling outside as the sky turned purple. What's going on? Jenny asked some civilians as she quickly ran outside the mall to take a look at what was happening. The sky suddenly turned purple and it's tearing itself apart, a civilian yelled in a panic. Jenny looked up at the sky and scanned one of the portals with her scanners and got a readout on what it exactly was. A tear in dimensions. But how? Jenny asked, her eyes widening at this. Before she could muse on this anymore, the side of her forehead started to beep, signaling she had a call. What is it? Jenny asked as she pushed the side of her forehead, answering the call. Jenny, we have a problem. Brad yelled out over the phone. I already know about the sky going nuts. Have Naruto meet me at his lab so we can have Kit do some scans, Jenny said as she took off flying into the sky. We are already at the lab, but Jenny, we have a, hey, quit swinging that thing. Brad's voice was saying. Before he was heard yelling as a crash was heard in the background of the call. I'll deal with it when I get there, just stay there. Jenny yelled as she sped up and flew faster. With Brad. Meanwhile, with Brad and Sheldon, they had been able to get back to Naruto's lab, but... Jenny, we have a bigger problem than, gah. What are you, crazy? Brad was yelling into his phone before he ducked as a guitar smashed into the wall. Did you tell Jenny about this variant of Naruto? Sheldon said as he poked his head from behind an overturned lab table where he was hiding from said blonde who was trying to attack his way out of the lab. I am not crazy. Mr. B had me tested. Naruto yelled as he flipped another table. You're not exactly proving you're not crazy by acting like this, Kit's voice said as her image appeared on the screen. Screw you. You're the one who lured me into this lab with promises of ramen. Now which of you is getting 30 whacks? Naruto yelled as he grabbed his guitar out of the wall and looked at Brad and Sheldon. Hit him. Sheldon and Brad yelled as they both pointed at each other in a panic as they saw that the guitar had been able to punch a hole in the wall which they knew was reinforced. Suddenly the elevator door opened and Jenny quickly came into the lab. Okay, I could hear you yelling from upstairs. What the hell is going, whoa. Jenny was saying before she quickly raised her arm blocking a strike from Naruto's guitar. Thank you for volunteering. Naruto yelled before he jumped back and readied his guitar for another swing before jumping at Jenny with a war cry. What the heck is going on? Jenny yelled as she caught the guitar with her palms before her nanobots swarmed and pushed Naruto back. It's a long story, Jen, Brad said as he and Sheldon took cover behind the weapons locker. Does it involve why Naruto is attacking me with a guitar? Jenny yelled as she made a shield with nanobots and blocked another strike from Naruto's guitar. Don't talk like you know me, Hatsune Miku. Naruto yelled as he jumped back ready to attack again. Jenny paused at this before she growled in annoyance while Brad and Sheldon snorted in laughter at this. Before Miss Jenny decides to get serious and hurt you, I should end this, Kit's voice said firmly as what looked like a blaster was lowered down from the roof. You think you can take me on? Let's see it, you, hey. Naruto was yelling before the blaster fired a needle into his neck which caused him to suddenly fall to the ground. Thank you, Kit, Sheldon said with a sigh of relief as he stood up from behind the weapons locker. You couldn't have led with that before he went nuts? Brad asked as he also stood up. How was I supposed to know this variant of Naruto was unstable mentally? Kit asked as her image looked at Brad. Variant? Jenny yelled as she made her nanobots recede before she looked at Brad and Sheldon with an accusing look. Oi. I can still hear you. I said I'm not crazy. Naruto yelled as he laid on the floor unable to move. Explanation, now. Jenny said as she glared at Brad and Sheldon, who were both sweating in fear at Jenny's glare. Earlier with Zim. Meanwhile with Zim, he had been watching the chase in town between Naruto and Tac on his monitor along with JIR and Minimoose. How dare another Urkin invader show up to try and take over the earth? It's my job to take it for the almighty tallest. Zim yelled as he slammed his fists on his control panel in frustration as the video screen showed the sky turning purple and being filled with portals. Oh, pretty lights. JR said as she looked at the video screen while Minimoose squeaked in agreement. It's not some light show, JR. It's, I don't know, computer. Zim was saying before he yelled at his AI. It would seem that the weapon Tac tried to steal from the Uzumaki spawn can rip holes in dimensions, and when it was damaged it started ripping holes all over our dimension, sir, the computer said. Other dimensions? Zim said as he started to think to himself before he smiled evilly as an idea hit him. Computer. Prepare the teleporter. He yelled as he approached a control screen and started to type on the keyboard, causing it to scan one of the portals in the sky, and soon it started showing images of different versions of Himawari. Oh, so many beasties. JR yelled happily as he looked at the screen and clapped happily. Computer. Find a variant of the Hima that will allow me to be able to predict the actions of my enemies. Zim yelled with an evil smile on his face. And what should I do when I find this variant, sir? The computer asked with a flat tone as a containment cell lifted out of the ground as the teleporter started to charge and an image from another dimension appeared on the computer. It was an image of what looked like a school named Eden Academy, which the computer was starting to scan for a target before it locked on. Bring her to me, you fool. Zim yelled out dramatically. Yes, sir, the computer said as the teleporter activated, sending sparks flying everywhere as energy started to fill the container. Gahahahahahaha. Zim cackled as he held his arms out dramatically. Ehehehehehehe. JIR giggled happily as the transporter pulled something from another dimension into the container. Soon the transporter stopped and smoke filled Zim's lab. Did it work? What kind of evil version of the Hima did you find, computer? Zim asked before he yelled at his AI. As he was yelling this, the smoke cleared, revealing what was in the glass container. It was what looked like a younger version of Himawari, who was wearing a school uniform with the name Eden on the front. Zim looked at the new arrival with a stunned look. It's adorable. JR yelled happily before he started to clap his hands in glee. What's going on? Where am I? Is this a whoop test? Spy Hima asked as she looked around the lab before smiling in excitement. Computer. Why did you bring me a younger and dumber version of the Hima? Zim bellowed out in a rage. Scans of this variant show that she has the ability to read minds, sir, which fits your wishes, the computer said as he showed a readout of scan results of when he scanned Spy Hima. Really? Zim said as he looked at the screen before smiling evilly as he then looked at Spy Hima. Prepare the brain extractor, he yelled with a man cackle as he ran off to another part of the lab. Oh, Spy Hima said as she read Zim's mind and didn't like what he was thinking at all. Hi mini beastie. Wanna have a tea party? JR yelled as he slammed his face against the containment cell, making the little girl jump back in surprise. Sure. Spy Hima said as she raised an eyebrow at the little robot. Yay. Ehehehehe. JR yelled before he ran off to go get the tea party ready. Back with Jenny. Back with the others, Brad and Sheldon along with Kit had just finished explaining what had happened to Jenny. So Naruto found actual phase quartz and didn't tell me and used it to build the Dimension Ator? Jenny asked as she looked at Brad and Sheldon. Yeah, we told him it was a dumb move and that you wouldn't like him going after Vexus on his own, Jenny, Sheldon said with a smile. He was working on this instead of asking me to the dance. Jenny yelled out at this as her mic robots went nuts behind her as she ignored Sheldon's attempt to SCK up. This resulted in Sheldon face planting to the metal floor with a clank. Denied. Gahahahaha. Naruto yelled as he laughed loudly as he laid on the floor still paralyzed from the neck down. Are you really gonna laugh with the position you're in? Brad asked as he looked down at the variant of his friend. Hey! That AI took a cheap shot and don't threaten me, pretty boy. I can still bite your legs off. Naruto yelled as he shook his head at Brad for emphasis. Look, will you stop being a moron for 5 minutes? We need to find some way to find my Naruto and get you back home to your dimension, Jenny said as she looked down at Naruto. Your Naruto? Naruto asked with a teasing smirk. Before Jenny slugged the floor next to him, missing his face by inches. Don't test me, Jenny growled out as her eyebrow twitched violently. Oh, relax, will ya? Your AI can probably find him and my dimension, right? Naruto asked as he ignored Jenny's threat and looked up at Kit's scream. I'm trying, but it's not exactly easy. When the Dimension Ator exploded, not only did it cause the phase quartz inside to shatter into 6 pieces, but 5 of said pieces went flying into other dimensions after syncing with Naruto, Kit said as she showed an image of when Naruto grabbed the phase quartz before it exploded. So where is our Naruto? Brad asked Kit. He's in one of 5 dimensions that each of the phase shards was sent to, one of which is the dimension of our low IQ guest, Kit said as she showed an image of 5 different Earths. Oi! I'm in high school, you pathetic excuse for a butler. Naruto yelled out at this. Do you use a small yellow bus to get there? Kit asked with a raised eyebrow. Naruto growled as his face turned red from his anger at Kit's insult. So let's go find our Naruto and drop him off while we're at it, Sheldon said as he stood up off the floor and gestured at Naruto. The problem with that, Mr. Lee, is that I have no way to know which dimension has our Naruto, seeing as when the phase quartz exploded it didn't just switch our Naruto with this one, it switched around 4 others between all our dimensions, Kit said as she showed a cartoon of what looked like 6 Narutos being moved between 6 different Earths. So we have to split up and go to These's different dimensions, find the shard of phase quartz there and the Naruto there, and also bring them back so we can get them back home too? Brad asked curiously. Exactly, the phase shards are most important. With those we can rebuild the Dimension Ator and fix the tears in dimensions, Kit said as her face appeared on the screen. Fine, so who's on moron duty? Jenny said as she nodded. Oi! Do I insult you? Naruto yelled from the floor. You compared me to Hatsune Miku. Jenny yelled as she stomped her foot in frustration. And she has legions of basement-dwelling fans. Would you rather I compare you to a vibrator? Naruto yelled at Jenny from the floor as he got up to his feet. Hey! I can walk, he yelled happily in realization before. Clang! Jenny slugged him hard in the gut with her microbots covering her fists, making them gigantic, sending the variant flying into the metal wall with a clang. So which of these dimensions are we going to first? Brad asked Kit. We have 5 dimensions to visit, so to save time we will need to split up, each of you going to a different dimension, Kit said as she looked at Brad and Sheldon. Wait, you're actually gonna let us help with a mission? Sheldon asked with an excited smile. Of course she is, it's all hands on deck for this one. Besides, who else is Kit gonna ask Himawari? Jenny asked as she looked at the 2 teen boys. Indeed, now you 2 please approach the weapons locker so I can properly equip you for this mission, Kit said after a few moments of silence before she opened up the weapons locker for Brad and Sheldon. Hello. Naruto yelled in surprise before smiling brightly at the wall of weapons and gadgets. Hands in pockets, Jenny and Kit said together as they both glared at the blonde. Punks, Naruto said with a scoff as he put his hands in his pockets. Okay, we're all set, Sheldon said with a smile as he and Brad held up what looked like a brand new high-tech gloves. He was also wearing what looked like a new vests and boots. Remember the mission, just find the displaced Naruto variant and the phase shard. After you do this I should be able to bring you back here, Kit said to the 4 teens. And how are we gonna get to these dimensions? I can't exactly jump that high, Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow as he pointed up for emphasis. Not a problem, bud, Brad said with a smile as the wall nearby opened showing the Star Explorer. I call shotgun. Naruto yelled excitedly as he ran over to the spaceship. Kid, I may need some of those tranq darts just in case, Jenny said with a sigh as she quickly ran over to the ship to stop the variant from entering the ship. They are in the glove compartment, Miss Jenny, Kit said with a sigh as the 4 teens got into the Star Explorer. The roof to the lab opened and the ship powered up and took off towards one of the portals in the sky. With Tac. Meanwhile, in an underground bunker, Tac was sitting at a computer desk looking at her monitors, which was showing the portals in the sky which were randomly opening around the world, letting occupants of other dimensions into this dimension and cause chaos. So that fool has torn open the dimensions and now I have access to all kinds of minions and creatures, Tac said as she smiled evilly as a plan formed in her mind. As she formulated her plan, Mimi tapped on her shoulder and pointed at a monitor which was showing Himawari and Tac sneaking over to Zim's house. So the Uzumaki's youngest spawn is looking to get information on me from that fool, eh? Very well, I have a way to deal with them, Tac said as she turned to a cell in her base which had the monster-like creature that had attacked Naruto during the chase across town. What stood out now was that it was completely calm and was wearing what looked like a high-tech collar on its neck. A parade mon should be enough to deal with those fools, and even if you fail I can easily recruit more of your dimension while those fools are busy trying to find a way to fix this, and by the time they figure out what I'm up to it will be too late to stop me. Tac yelled before she smiled madly before she pushed a button on her wrist which opened up the cell and let the parade mon fly out of the base. With Zim. Meanwhile with Zim, he was inside his lab getting what looked like a operation table ready while nearby spy Hima was sitting in her cell with Jir sitting in front of her with a tea set on a small table. More tea? Spy Hima asked as she held out the teapot to the little robot. Yes please. Jir yelled before he took the teapot and started to chug the tea straight from the pot before handing it back, making spy Hima laugh. Grr. No fraternizing with the enemy. Zim yelled out as he approached them. Leave him alone, cockroach boy. Don't make me have to use this. Spy Hima said as she held the teapot towards Zim in what she thought was a threatening manner. Foolish human. I am not a cockroach. I am a Urkin invader. And what are you gonna do with that? Zim yelled before he started using a mocking tone as he looked at Spy Hima. Before Spy Hima smashed the teapot on his head, breaking it and covering him in hot tea. Delicious, I mean oh god it burns. Zim said as he licked his face before he screamed in pain from the burns on his face and started to run around the lab. As this was happening, the air vent above them started to shake and suddenly it opened and Kurama dropped down along with a rope which Tac started to lower himself down on. Okay Hima, Zim is busy, get down here. Tac whispered into his earpiece and looking up at the opened air vent. I'm right here. Spy Hima yelled as she looked at Tac confused. Kurama looked at Spy Hima at this and tilted his head in confusion at seeing her. How did you get down here before me? And how did you get smaller? Tac asked as he looked at Spy Hima. I thought older kids were supposed to be smarter, Spy Hima said with a flat look on her face as she read Tuck's mind, seeing his confusion. Tac, stop screwing around and hold the rope steady. I'm coming down. Himawari's voice said through Tuck's earpiece, making Tuck's eyes widen in surprise before he looked up at the open vent, seeing his best friend starting to lower herself down on the rope. Spy Hima looked up at Himawari as she lowered herself down and read her mind, her eyes widening in surprise at what she was reading. She yelled in surprise as Himawari dropped onto the lab floor expertly. Okay, what pathetic creature did Zim capture this time? Himawari asked as she looked at Tuck and took out her sonic screwdriver. Tuck said as he pointed at the cell nervously. Himawari looked at the cell and paused at what she saw, dropping her sonic screwdriver, seeing the younger version of herself. Okay you little brat, now that I have cooled my face off I'm gonna extract your brain and you. Zim said as he approached, widening his face with a cold washcloth before he spotted Himawari. What the hell, Zim? Are you cloning people now? Tuck asked as he looked at the alien invader. Of course not. Though I'm not telling you anything, you pathetic human meat bag. Zim yelled as he looked at Tuck. He pulled me from something called another dimension, Spy Hima said, stopping at the last word and trying to pronounce it right. Curse you, mind reader. Zim yelled as he pointed at Spy Hima's cell. Dimension? Tuck yelled in surprise at hearing this. Mind reader? Himawari asked as she looked at the younger variant of herself. Aha. Though I'm not supposed to tell anyone, you won't tell, right? Spy Hima asked as she looked at Himawari with a nod and a hopeful look. Sure, Kid Kurama, get her free and watch her like a hawk while me and Zim talk, Himawari said with a sigh as she shook her head. Kurama nodded at this before he approached the cell door as the tips of his tails turned into blow torches. Oh, a robot doggy. Spy Hima said with eyes full of wonder as the robot kitsune started to melt away the door. Kurama's eyebrow twitched at this, but he continued to do his work. Okay Zim, we can do this the hard way or the easy way, Himawari said as she made her Omni hammer appear in her hand as she approached Zim. Foolish human. If you think I'm gonna make this easy for you, you're in for the fight of your dash, Zim yelled as he made his spider legs appear on his back and lift him off the ground before he was cut off. Sir, we have a problem, the computer said as a crashing sound was heard upstairs before the door to the lab started to shake as if something was trying to attack its way through it. What's going on? Tuck yelled as the lab started to shake. We seem to be under attack from a creature from another dimension. From what my scans are telling me, it seems to be a creature meant to destroy everything in its path, the computer said. That's great. Finally the Hima and her pet will suffer dash, Zim was saying before. Smash. Himawari smacked him into the ground with the Omni hammer. Looks like Tac doesn't like that. We came here to ask Zim about her, Himawari said with a scowl as she looked at the shaking lab door. Just what we need, a competent Zim, Tuck said with a groan at this. Hey. I'm plenty competent. Zim yelled as he struggled to his feet. Gee hee 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 hee. Jr cackled at this, rolling on the ground hearing this. Well said Gir, Himawari said with a light smirk at the little robot. Zim growled at this, his face turning red from frustration. The monster is getting through. Spy Hima yelled as the lab door started to shake even more just as Kurama got her cell open. Okay, we need a way out of here and in a hurry. Zim, what you got? Himawari said as she looked at the alien invader. Why would I help you dash, Zim was saying before Himawari grabbed him by the front of his shirt. Because Tac not only is looking to kill us but take over the earth. Himawari yelled at Zim. And that's supposed to be your job, isn't it? Tuck asked, knowing what Himawari was getting at. Oh fine. Everyone in my ship. Zim yelled out as he pointed at the nearby spaceship. Oh. Spy Hima said, her eyes wide in wonder at seeing the spaceship. Everyone got into the ship as the lab door started to shake loose, the parademon starting to claw its way into the lab. Start the ship already. Himawari yelled at Zim, seeing that they didn't have a lot of time left. I'm working on it. Why won't this ship start? Zim yelled out as he pushed several buttons. Updating sir, the computer said with a flat tone. Curses. Zim yelled as he slammed his fists on the dashboard. It's too late. Tuck yelled as the parademon finally get through the lab door and roared loudly. Spy Hima read the creature's mind and her eyes widened before she grabbed her head. Make it go away, she screamed in terror as she shook her head. Jr seeing this tilted his head to the side before he narrowed his eyes before. I am Jar. Cheese and macaroni, the little robot yelled. Metal tentacles shot out of his back and attached themselves to the computer in the lab. This resulted in every weapon in the lab turning on and turning to take aim at the parademon before open firing on the creature. This got looks of surprise from everyone as the parademon screeched in pain. Update complete, ship can now take off sir, computer said as the ship turned on. Excellent. Zim yelled as he activated the ship's thrusters, causing the ship to take off out of the rooftop. Ho ho. Spy Hima and Jiraiya yelled as they held out their arms excitedly as the ship took off. "Where are we going?" Tac asked as the ship flew over the city. "We track down Tac and figure out what her plan is," Himawari said firmly. "Maybe we should contact Jenny and your brother," Tac said as he frowned. "They are busy with their own problem, Mr. Carbuncle," Kit's voice said from Himawari's glove patch. "What could be worse than dealing with a mini version of me summoned here by a moron?" Himawari asked her glove. "Hey!" Zim yelled as he looked up from the ship's controls while Spy Hima pouted cutely. "They are trying to fix what's causing all these dimension shenanigans, which if they succeed I'll be able to send a little variant with you back home, so for now just try and focus on finding Tac and stay out of trouble," Kit's voice said before her face disappeared from the back of Himawari's glove. "Hey! I am not a babysitter. Kit! Kit! DMN it!" Himawari yelled at the back of her hand in frustration at the AI's silence. "Oh, you said a swear," Spy Hima said as she looked at her older self with a look of awe. Himawari groaned at this before she slammed her head on the window as she already felt a headache coming. With Jenny. The Star Explorer flew through the sky above Tremorton as it made its way towards one of the portals in the sky. "Are you sure this is a good idea, Kit?" Sheldon asked as the ship was fast approaching the portal. "It should be. I'm mostly sure my hunch that I can help guide us through these portals is correct," Kit said with a calm tone. "You're sending us in there on a mere hunch?" Brad yelled out at this, clearly not happy at this reveal. "I like this plan. I'm honored to be a part of it." Naruto yelled with a smile as he adjusted his guitar holster a bit. "Good, you can go first," Jenny said as she pushed a button causing the ship's door to open, showing a portal. Naruto made a mocking face at this, getting an annoyed look from Jenny. "So how are you guiding us to our destination anyway?" Sheldon asked Kit. "I have given each of you a earpiece communicator that is locked onto the displaced Narutos and the phase shards in these different dimensions. When you all enter, you all will be separated and sent to different dimensions," Kit explained. "And we find the displaced Naruto and the shard, then you get us back home?" Brad asked as he made sure his earpiece was secure. "Exactly," Kit said as he holographic face nodded. "Just make sure you don't ditch us if you end up home," Jenny said with an annoyed tone as she looked at Naruto. "Are you a psychic too, Miku-chan? Ow. I was kidding, DMN it." Naruto was asking before Jenny slugged him in the shoulder. "Just try not to make a fuss wherever you end up, sir," Kit said with a flat tone. "Sir. Finally. Boy, finally getting some respect around here, hey." Naruto was saying before Jenny shoved him out the open door, sending him flying into the portal. "Just do your job, you idiot," Jenny yelled after the blonde variant. "FYOUUUUUU." Naruto yelled as he fell through the portal and soon he was gone. "Is he gonna be okay?" Sheldon asked Kit as he knew she had a read on his vitals thanks to his earpiece. "He's fine, he should be in one of the affected dimensions now the rest of you follow suit," Kit said as she looked at Jenny, Brad and Sheldon. "Finally a real adventure," Brad said with a smile as he quickly jumped out the open window and activated his jet boots and flew into the portal. "Wait for me. If my buddy Naruto needs help, I'm gonna help him," Sheldon yelled as he followed after Brad, activating his jet boots and flying through the portal. Jenny looked at the portal for a few moments and steeled her nerves. "Don't worry, Naruto, I'm coming to help you," she thought as clenched her fists and took off flying into the portal. With Naruto. Outside a field of green grass, Naruto fell out of a lordle and landed face first in the dirt. "DMN Cyborg broad, I swear when I meet her Naruto I'm selling her out." Naruto grumbled as he got to his feet and spat out some dirt. "I would recommend not doing that. Miss Jenny may be part robot, but she's not chained to the no killing humans rule," Kit's voice said from Naruto's earpiece. "Bah, fine, but I'm still gonna tease him. I'm gonna guess he likes her, but is AF sap?" Naruto asked with a scoff. "According to my scanners, one of your targets is nearby," Kit said, ignoring Naruto's question. Ha! Knew it. Naruto said with a laugh before he started to look around, seeing he was in the outskirts of a city which had some smoke coming off of it as yelling was heard. Looks like they are playing my song, he said with a smile. I would get moving then, sir, Kit said simply. Hold on, I need a ride, aha. Naruto said as he looked around before he spotted a gas station nearby with a garage attached to it. Inside said garage was what looked like a freshly repaired moped. Not my Vespa, but I'll take it, Naruto said as he ran over to the moped and quickly jumped on it before starting it and taking off out of the garage and towards the city. Hey, a garage worker yelled as he ran out of the garage, seeing this. Thanks. It's running great. Charge. Naruto yelled as he rode towards the city. Inside the city. Inside the city, people were running away from what looked like a large hunchback monster with bulging eyes, sharp teeth and knife-like claws. Nearby there was a parked RV where an older man with gray hair and wearing a red shirt with yellow flower patterns, this was Max Tennyson, and next to him was what looked like a teen girl with short sunset red hair. She was wearing a black Clark and what looked like some charms. This was Gwen Tennyson. What the heck is a Hyde doing here? Gwen yelled as one of the charms she was wearing glowed and she fired some fire at the monster, blocking its path to some civilians who were trying to escape. Whatever it is, it came out of that portal in the sky, Max said as he looked up at the sky where there was a purple tear in the sky. And with Naruto missing, it's up to me to deal with this thing. Oh, I'm gonna let him have it when he shows up, Gwen said with a scowl as she levitated into the air and started to charge some lighting into her hands. The Hyde growled at Gwen before roaring at her, but before it could leap at the young sorceress, it was suddenly covered in vines, causing it to roar in surprise before the vines grabbed his arms and legs and tightened around him. The Hyde roared at this, but before it could attempt to use its claws to slash himself free. Rui Jingu Bang, a male voice yelled out as the end of a staff shot down from above, slamming into the head of the Hyde, sending the monster into the ground, making a crater, knocking it out. Gwen looked up in the air and her eyes widened as she saw what looked like a blue flying Chinese dragon hovering in the air above them, but what really surprised her was who was sitting on the dragon. It was a teen boy with blonde spiky hair. He had whisker marks on his cheeks. He was wearing what looked like a red GI with beige pants. Nice shot, Naruto, the dragon said with a female voice as it landed on the ground, letting the blonde off. Thanks, Afaya, Sheldon, Naruto said with a smile as he put his staff on his shoulder before looking at Gwen, who was looking at him with a look of anger. Are you okay, miss? He asked curiously as he raised an eyebrow. Gwen growled at this before she charged some lighting in her palms, ready to attack the blonde. Max sighed at this but took note of something with Sheldon. Naruto, where is the Omnitrix? He thought as he frowned. With Brad. Meanwhile with Brad, he was in what seemed to be a forest which seemed to have a big black tower which looked like a spire on the mountain top. And currently running for his life from what looked like a bunch of parademons. Leave me alone, DMN. Brad yelled as he used his jet boots to fly away while firing a rocket launcher behind him at the parademons, which took some of them out, but they just kept coming after him. Suddenly what looked like a flame wall rose up, blocking the parademons' pursuit. Huh. Brad said as he stopped sending, hovered in the air and looked at the flame wall before what looked like several flame spears flew at the parademons, all of them hitting them in the heads, killing them. Brad's eyes widened at this before he turned and looked down, seeing what looked like a humanoid that seemed to be made out of volcanic rocks. What stood out was what looked like an hourglass symbol on his chest. Phew. That was close, huh? You okay? The creature asked with a smile as he looked up at Brad. Yeah, who are you? Brad asked as he kept his rocket launcher ready just in case. Call me Heat Blast. Ah geez, Heat Blast was saying before the symbol on his chest started to blink red before. Flash. In a flash of red light, Heat Blast was replaced by what looked like a teen boy's spiky blonde hair. He had whisker marks on his cheeks and what looked like a high-tech watch on his wrist. Well, I guess you can call me Naruto when I'm like this, huh? Omni Naruto said with a sheepish chuckle as he rubbed the back of his head. Brad blinked at this before he smiled, glad that he had found one of his targets. With Jenny. Meanwhile with Jenny, she was flying over what looked like a forest and scowling in annoyance after her encounter with the people in a town she had found after arriving in this dimension. Geez, those people, where do they get off calling me an outcast? If I wasn't on a mission right now, Jenny grumbled to herself as she flew. Help, a male voice yelled out, Jenny's enhanced ears picking this up easily. Jenny's scanners quickly identified the first voice and showed her it was a match for Naruto. She quickly took off flying towards where she had heard the yelling coming from, and soon she came up on what looked like an old castle with what looked like students outside of it in uniform. Jenny ignored this and looked around with her scanners trying to find where she had heard Naruto's yell. She's a bloody psycho, another voice yelled out from a nearby window that was painted half black and the other half pink. Jenny instantly smashed through it and fired into the room. Freeze! Jenny yelled as she landed on the ground and made her nanobots appear ready to attack as she assessed the situation in the room. Inside the room she saw what looked like a small child dressed like a imp chained to a chair, and in another was what looked like a young teen with spiky blonde hair and whisker marks. Naruto, who's the cheerleader? The imp-looking creature asked. Who cares? She must be better than her impmon. DG Naruto yelled as he jerked his head at a girl nearby who was standing at what looked like a table of torture tools. This girl had black hair and twin pigtails and had pale skin. This was Wednesday Addams. Wednesday turned to look at Jenny and narrowed her eyes, seeing her. Are you a friend of this imposter and his pathetic devil minion? She asked as she pointed at DG Naruto. Oi! Watch the insults, you hot topic loser. Impmon yelled at this as he struggled to get loose from his chains. Before Wednesday threw a knife at him, cutting his cheek and embedding it into the wall behind the imp creature. I don't know them exactly, but I need them to come with me, so let them go, Jenny said as she made her microbots form into tentacles behind her ready to attack. Wednesday looked at Jenny for a few moments before she nodded. Go ahead, but be sure to use the chains, this one is special like the imp, she said as she looked away from Jenny and turned to DG Naruto with a knife in her hands. I said let them go, you dash, Jenny was yelling before. Bzzzztt. Gaha. Jenny yelled as she was hit from behind with some electricity before she fell to the ground with a groan, showing what looked like an older man who was pale and bald. This was Fester. Hope you know what you're doing, Wednesday. This one looked ready to hurt you, Fester said as he grabbed some chains and started to tie Jenny up. Wednesday ignored this as she looked at DG Naruto as she held up a sizzling hot red hot poker. Now I'm gonna ask you again, where is Naruto? She asked as her eyes narrowed and her two prisoners paled and started to sweat in fear. With Sheldon. Meanwhile, with Sheldon, he had arrived in what looked like grassy meadows with a path he was following. All the way in China, I'm lucky Kit's earpiece can translate any language in addition to lead me in the right direction, Sheldon said as he walked up a path. He soon spotted what looked like a big temple up ahead. He felt his earpiece buzzing in his ear and smiled at this. Looks like I'm on the right track, he said as he used his het boots to fly towards the temple. But as he approached the door, smash! It suddenly exploded as what looked like a massive amount of BLD smashed the door open and sent 4 teens in monk uniforms flying out the door, in addition to pushing Sheldon back. One pre-teen boy that was very short and had a bald head. This was Omi. One was a Brazilian teen boy and had brown hair. This was Raimundo. The last of the boys was the biggest of them and was wearing a cowboy hat. This was Clay. The last of the 4 monks was the only teen girl who looked to be Japanese. She had her black hair and twin pigtails. This was Kimiko. On Omi's head there was also what looked like a green lizard. This was Dojo. I told you he was acting wacky, my friends. Omi yelled as he stood up. Whack, Raimundo said with a groan as he stood up. That too. Omi yelled as he nodded in agreement. Correct Omi's butchering of slang later. I want to know where that monster took Naruto. Kimiko yelled as she spat blue fire from her mouth. I think Safaya is missing 2 partners, Clay said as he looked around a bit. Maybe it has something to do with that portal in the sky. Dojo asked as he looked duo in the sky. Is everything okay? Sheldon asked as he approached the monks. Sorry young traveler, but we have a problem with a monster that is masquerading as our dear friend and Kimiko's boyfriend, Omi said as he looked at Sheldon. Eyes in front people. Here he comes, the monster. Dojo yelled in a panic as he hid in Omi's robes. Everyone looked at the destroyed doors to the temple and saw what looked like a massive amount of BLD which was moving as if alive, complete with mouths in the BLD laughing evilly. And walking towards them was what looked like a teen with blonde hair. He had whisker marks on his face and he was wearing what looked like a school uniform with what looked like an embroidered N emblem on his chest. I believe I told you that word was a no-no with me, lizard. Now I'm gonna make you into a purse. Nevermore, Naruto said with a glare as his eyes flashed red and he bared his vampire fangs for all to see as the BLD monster behind him laughed evilly. You will not beat us, evildoer. Omi yelled as he charged at Nevermore Naruto along with his fellow monks. Bad day, Sheldon said with a sweat drop as he summoned the Pixelator to try and help stop this fight. With Naruto. Naruto drove his stolen moped through the city trying to use his earpiece to track down the signal the AI had locked onto. But he wasn't focusing on that right now. Ugh, this thing sucks compared to my Vespa, go faster. Naruto yelled as he smacked the handlebars in frustration. You're going the reasonable speed for a moped, Kit said with a sigh at the variant's antics. Exactly. Naruto yelled out in frustration. You're coming up on one of your targets, next, right? Kit said, ignoring the variant of her master's stupidity. Cool, let's hope this is your Naruto so I can tell him to get a better leash on that cyborg battleaxe dash, Naruto was saying as he approached a street corner before what looked like a blue dragon flew past him, smashing into a building nearby. What the heck is your problem? Naruto yelled as he ran over to the downed Sophia, who shook her head and groaned before she growled and looked down the road towards Gwen, who was floating towards them after sending the dragon flying. It's a dragon, you idiot. How do you know it's not with that hide, Naruto? Gwen yelled at Naruto. This dragon is my friend. And don't act like you know me. Naruto yelled as he glared at Gwen while Sophia shrunk down to a small form, clearly tired after Gwen's attack. Your dragon shrinks after it gets tired. Ha 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 ha, Naruto asked, seeing this before doing an imitation of Butthead's laugh. I'll burn you to dash, Sophia yelled as she turned to look at Naruto but paused, surprised at seeing another Naruto. Who the heck said dash? Naruto said as he turned to look at Naruto, also pausing in surprise at seeing him. What the? Gwen asked, surprised at seeing another Naruto. Hey y'all, let me guess, your Naruto is MIA and this one replaced him? I'm in the same boat, but... Don't worry, I'm here to help, Naruto said with a grin as he struck a pose, sticking his finger in the air. Wait, you're Naruto? Max asked as he approached them, taking note of Naruto's choice of words. As in the multiverse theory? Gwen asked, her eyes widening at this as she looked at the two Narutos. Not exactly a theory, read, Naruto said as he smiled at this. Will someone explain what is going on? Last thing I know I was in the Xiaolin temple with my friends, next thing I know I'm in this city getting attacked by a sorceress after helping her with some monster, Naruto said with an annoyed tone as he put Sophia on his shoulder. I do believe I can explain the situation, Kit's voice said as a hologram of her face was projected from Naruto's earpiece. You can do this but not give me a map? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow as Kit explained the situation. One explanation later, and Kit had explained the entire situation to everyone. So that portal in the sky and that hide showing up is your Naruto's fault? Gwen asked with a frown as she looked at Kit. Kind of, Kit said as she frowned a bit. I'm with the redhead on this one, Naruto said with a snicker at this. So you need me to come with you after we find this shard of Paz quartz that's in this dimension? Naruto asked Kit curiously. Exactly, if we have all the shards we can fix the tears in dimensions and send you all home, Kit said as her image nodded. Well, if that's the case then you have my help, Naruto said as he nodded at Kit. Excellent, Thank you, Kit said as her image nodded at Shaolin Naruto. Great, now let's go find this shard and get out of here, Naruto said as he turned to approach his stolen moped, causing the hologram of Kit to disappear. Hold on. Do you even know where this shard thing is? Gwen asked as she followed after the two Narutos. I have a radar which I used to find at the Dragon Tamer here, Naruto said as he jerked a thumb at Shaolin Naruto. Sophia growled at this, clearly annoyed at this. I'm a Shaolin monk, not a dragon tamer, Shaolin Naruto said as he patted Sadaya on the head while frowning at Naruto. Yeah, and I'm a clone of the great sage who was raised by a mad scientist who runs a high school for clones of historical figures, Naruto said as he waved his hand dismissively. Shaolin Naruto, Sophia, Gwen and Max both looked at Naruto with looks of bewilderment at this. Ignore him, I think he took too many blows to the head mid-dimensions. Anyway, while I do have a way to track the shard, do you have a quicker way to find it, Miss Gwen? Kit asked, her hologram appearing from Naruto's earpiece again. Naruto made a mocking face at this as Gwen approached the AI's hologram. Do you have a readout on this shard's unique signature? If you do, I could use a more accurate tracking spell to help you find it, Gwen said as she looked at Kit. Magic is a thing in this dimension? Naruto asked curiously. Not just this one, I use magic to make plants and my staff is a magic object, Shaolin Naruto said as he gestured to the Rui Jingu bang on his back with one hand while holding out his other hand and making a flower grow in his hand. We have all kinds of crazy stuff here, magic aliens, vigilantes in bat suits — Max was explaining before he was cut off. This is the DC universe. Naruto shouted out in surprise before smiling madly in excitement. Will you shut up? I'm trying to focus on my tracking spell and your rambling isn't helping, Gwen said as she focused on casting a tracking spell since Kit had given her the information she needed to track the phase shard. Oh, so sassy and independent, you sure this isn't the MCU? Naruto asked with a snicker. Don't you mean MCU? Shaolin Naruto asked with a chuckle of his own. This caused Naruto to burst out laughing and fall on his back, kicking his legs at this. Please don't encourage him, sir, Kit said with a flat tone as her hologram looked at Shaolin Naruto. Sorry about that, he's a social butterfly, Sophia said as she sighed at this. I got it. Gwen said as she made what looked like a magic window which showed what looked like a purple shard which was being loaded up into a case carried into an armored truck which was full of what looked like prisoners. Is that your shard? Max asked Kit as they all looked at the window. Indeed, it looks like some government agents or something have taken custody of it, Kit said with a sigh. Oh, I haven't killed any government agents since before I was frozen, Naruto said with a grin. Max and Shaolin Naruto looked at Naruto surprised at how casually he admitted this. What? Oh, for F's sake, they were shadow government and looking to enslave me and my friends, so don't judge me, Gramps and Monk Boy. Naruto said as he scoffed. It looks like the shard along with these prisoners are being moved to a facility outside the city, Gwen said as her spell showed the armored convoy starting to move. Anything we need to worry about if we attack? Shaolin Naruto asked curiously. Gwen looked at the magic window and after a few seconds it showed what looked like a man in armor sitting on a rooftop watching the convoy with a pair of binoculars. What stood out was that he was wearing a mask that was black on one side and orange on the other. We're gonna fight Deathstroke. Bitchin'. Naruto said with a grin as he ran over his stolen moped. Wait for us, you idiot. Gwen yelled as she ended her spell and moved to follow after him. Sorry, this can only hold me, you're fat but would weigh me down. Naruto yelled with a laugh as he started his moped and took off down the street. Fat but? I'm gonna kill that idiot. Gwen growled out as her eyebrow twitched. Follow me, we can catch up and hopefully get this done without him destroying the city, Shaolin Naruto said as he nodded at Sophia. Sophia nodded at this before she jumped off Naruto's shoulder and grew to her full size. We can use Sophia to fly after them, Shaolin Naruto said as he got onto his dragon friend's back. Just watch it with the spells, Sapphire said as she glared at Gwen, still annoyed at her earlier attack. Gwen chuckled nervously at this as she knew she messed up with that one. Relax, she won't hurt you, let's go. Shaolin Naruto said as he grabbed Gwen's hand and pulled her onto Sapphire behind him. Gwen blushed at this but composed herself a bit, trying to remind herself this wasn't her Naruto. Watch yourself, he's taken in our dimension and I'm not above dropping you if you pull a stupid move, Sapphire said as she took off flying into the sky. Max sighed at this as he quickly moved to follow in the rust bucket. A few moments later Sapphire was flying over the city as they tried to spot the armored convoy. Any sign of the convoy or that idiot? Gwen asked as she looked over one side of Sapphire while Shaolin Naruto looked over the other side. I have both in my sights and said idiot is already attacking the trucks guarding the convoy, Sapphire said as she pointed downwards with one of her claws. Both Shaolin Naruto and Gwen looked down and saw what looked like Naruto on his stolen moped attacking the armored cars that were escorting the convoy, but he was making slow progress as every time he got close to attack one of the others would fire at him, making him back off. You help that idiot while I go after the shard, Gwen said as she stood up on Sapphire's back. You gonna be okay doing that? Shaolin Naruto asked curiously. Let's just say luck is on my side, Gwen said with a smile as she jumped off. Sapphire, her levitation charm glowing as she flew down towards the armored convoy. Okay Sapphire, let's go help, will me I guess, Shaolin Naruto said with a chuckle. I have been calling him the RETD version of you in my head, Sapphire said as she flew down towards where Naruto was. With Gwen. Gwen was flying through the sky over the convoy as it sped through the road, reaching the tunnel. Standing up on the roof of a nearby skyscraper, Deathstroke loomed, keeping watch over the convoy but paused as he noticed Gwen's approach. Interesting, it would seem another party is interested in this shard, Deathstroke mused as he looked at Gwen through his binoculars and then looked at Naruto and Shaolin Naruto, who were both attacking the armored escorts along with Sapphire. Just get that shard if you expect to be paid. Tac's voice yelled through Deathstroke's earpiece. Deathstroke nodded at this as he moved to follow. Gwen's luck charm started to glow as she landed on the ground, rushing forward as a car crashed into a nearby lamp post. The Orangeette jumped over just as another car came by, crashing into the gas station, erupting in a large explosion, standing a car flying, landing upside down, allowing Gwen to run over, jumping into the passenger seat of the convoy. The guard quickly pulled out his gun. He pulled the trigger but nothing happened. He hit on the magazine and kept pulling at the trigger, getting a swift elbow to the face, breaking his arm. She threw him out the door. Sorry. Gwen yelled at the guard, hoping he would be okay. Deathstroke rushed through the rooftops, latching his gauntlet onto the sides of the rooftops, sliding downward, landing on the road. Deathstroke ran forward, pulling out his rifle, taking aim at Gwen. She gasped, forming a barrier to block his shot. He jumped on the roof of a passing car, crashing into the convoy. Deathstroke flipped forward, landing onto the top of the roof. This guy is bad, but just like the comics. Naruto shouted as he slowly caught up with the convoy on his moped. Where is he? I can't see him, Gwen said as she took the wheel of the truck. He's on top of you. He's cutting you open. He's going in through the back. Naruto shouted as, watched the assassin take out his blades, cutting away into the rooftop, knocking it open and jumping inside. Oh my god, he's inside. You realize how you sound? Gwen said, annoyed. Accidental double entendres. Naruto yelled as him and Shaolin Naruto were slowly catching up. Back off, Hellboy. Naruto shouted, shooting at him with his guitar. Just deal with him already. Shaolin Naruto yelled as he made some roses in his hands and threw them at Deathstroke. Are you giving me CRP when you throw flowers? Naruto yelled. You use a guitar like a mallet. And how the hell do you keep a gun in that thing? Shaolin Naruto yelled at Naruto, clearly annoyed with the mad counterpart of himself. Focus, ladies. Sapphire yelled at the two Narutos. Deathstroke glared at them, looking over the cells, eyeing Polka Dot Man. No. 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 He screamed as Deathstroke pushed out his container, flipping along the road towards the Narutos as they dodged it. He moved to Ratcatcher, pushing her out next, but they evaded her too. Gwen reared her hand back and blasted Deathstroke with a powerful mini tornado flying from the convoy. Huh, so she's got more than a mouth, who knew? Naruto said with a grin at this. Deathstroke spun back, tossing a grappling hook latching onto the floor of the convoy as the section by him crashed into the car, the explosion sending him flying back inside. Gwen got up from her seat throwing a kick, but Deathstroke caught her foot, throwing her to the roof of the car, making her fall back down hard. Cypherin, right? Impressive. I had heard you were just a sidekick to the user of the Omnitrix, Deathstroke asked as he looked down at Gwen. Obviously you need better informants, One Eye. Gwen yelled as she glared at the mercenary. He raised up his foot, stomping down at Gwen's head, but she rolled back, kicking him in the chin, knocking him back. Deathstroke pulled out his swords and swung at Gwen, who ducked under his blade, narrowly avoiding the cool steel. He kicked her stomach, pushing her back into the driver's seat, then rushed forward, pressing his blade's handle down on her neck. We need to catch up and get in there. Sheldon Naruto yelled at Naruto from his spot on Sophia's head. I got it. Hey dragon, open your mouth and get ready to fire. Naruto yelled with a grin as an idea hit him. Sophia raised an eyebrow at this, not knowing if she should trust the words of this variant. Sophia, just do it. Sheldon Naruto yelled as he had a feeling Gwen needed backup. Oh fine. This better be good, you idiot. Sophia yelled as she opened her mouth. Naruto smiled as he hit the gas on his moped and sped up and pulled ahead of Sophia and got right in front of her before he looked back at Sheldon Naruto. Okay, jump on. He yelled back at him. Sheldon Naruto nodded at this as he quickly jumped from Sophia and onto the moped and behind Naruto. So what's the plan? Sheldon asked as he grabbed Naruto's shoulders so he could hold on. Wait for it, Naruto said with a grin as he hit the brakes, causing the moped to slow down and go towards Sophia's open mouth at a rapid speed. What the hell are you, MPPPH? Sophia was yelling before the back of the moped was put into her mouth, silencing her. Okay, toothless breath, fire and send us towards the truck. Naruto yelled as he pointed at the convoy. Are you insane? Sheldon Naruto yelled out, surprised that this was his plan. Nope, my robot dad had me tested. Now do it, or can you not breathe fire? Naruto asked as he looked at Sophia with a mocking look. Sophia growled in anger at this before smoke came out of her nostrils and roar. She roared loudly and blasted azure fire, sending the moped and the two Narutos rocketing towards the convoy. UF Psycho. Sheldon Naruto yelled as they flew at a high speed. Focus. This is our stop. Naruto yelled as they both approached the back of the convoy. Both Narutos jumped inside, charging at Deathstroke. Sheldon took out his Rui Jingu Bang and Naruto his guitar as they charged forward, both their weapons meeting his blades in deadlock. He pushed them back, swinging at the duo, who jumped back, double kicking him in the chest. Gwen slid between his legs, standing beside both counterparts. Glad to see you're holding up okay. Red, your Naruto must be important to you if you're stepping up to the Terminator, Naruto said with a grin at Gwen. Shut up and fight. Gwen yelled as she fired some lighting at Deathstroke. Sheldon Naruto extended his Shingongwu, which was charged by Gwen's lighting, striking Deathstroke in his face, then shot a rapid assault on his chest. Naruto rushed in, slamming into Deathstroke, sending them both flying out of the front window and landing on a passing car. Deathstroke jumped to his feet, followed by a downward stab at Naruto. Quickly turning his head, avoiding the strike, he jumped up, swinging his guitar. Deathstroke held up his blades in cross block, taking the hit. Naruto pushed forward, looking down at his opponent's feet. He grinned, tripping Deathstroke over and jumping to passing RV. Rock and roll. Naruto shouted, strumming his guitar hard, sending a sonic shockwave, blasting Deathstroke off the car and sending him crashing into a passing building. Huh. Wait until I tell Abe and Gandhi I actually beat Deathstroke. Naruto yelled with a grin as he held up his arms in victory. "Good job son," Max said as he poked his head out of the passenger window, revealing it was him driving the RV. "Oh hey old man. Can I get a ride back to my friends?" Naruto asked with a sheepish chuckle as he rubbed the back of his head. Max chuckled at this as he nodded and started to drive the rust bucket towards the armored truck. Back with Gwen. Meanwhile, back with Gwen and Xiaolin Naruto, they had been able to stop the armored truck and were now looking through the truck's contents. "Have you found this shard yet?" Xiaolin Naruto asked Gwen as she used her magic to scan each of the boxes in the truck. "Yeah, if we don't get back soon Kimiko is gonna probably make Wuya look stable when she sees you," Sophia said with a snicker as she shrunk down and slithered into Xiaolin Naruto's shoulder. "Wait, you actually have a girlfriend?" Naruto yelled from his seat in top of the rust bucket which had just arrived. "Yeah, what of it?" Xiaolin Naruto asked curiously as he raised an eyebrow at the variant of himself who jumped down off the rust bucket. "Nothing, just surprised a so-called monk is allowed to have a girlfriend. Let me guess, guys screw around with her ear so you don't break the monk code of conduct?" Naruto asked with a grin. Xiaolin Naruto's jaw dropped at this while Sophia fell off his shoulder shocked at Naruto's joke. "When you find that shard yet?" Max asked as he approached the armored truck. "Yeah, I found it, just need to get the case open Gwen was saying before. Crash. Before they heard a crash, and when they looked they saw Xiaolin Naruto with his Rui Jingu bang out which he had just used to smash Naruto into a small crater. "And if you ever say that SHT again, I'll shove this in a place worse than your head," Xiaolin Naruto yelled as he removed his staff from Naruto's head and holstered it. "Ow! Ow! Ow! What the hell is that staff made out of?" Naruto yelled as he held his head in pain. "Will you stop being a moron? I have your shard now, get my Naruto back, I'm getting a migraine," Gwen said as she threw the case at Xiaolin Naruto, who caught it. "Oh, you're Naruto?" "Nyuk nyuk nyuk," Naruto asked with a teasing grin before he did imitation of Curly's laugh. "Grr," Gwen growled as her eyes flashed violet as she glared at Naruto. Xiaolin Naruto opened the case which showed the glowing shard of phase quartz. "Perfect, now to get you back to the lab back in my dimension," Kit's voice said from Naruto's earpiece. "How are you gonna do Xiaolin Naruto was asking before what looked like a blue portal opened in front of them. "Thanks to the phase quartz I already have, I was able to develop a way to retrieve you and the others, but in order to fix the dimensions tearing themselves apart we will need all of them. Now please get through the portal, you too," Kit's voice said firmly. I Captain Skynet," Naruto said with a mock salute as he approached the portal. "Wait, you're just leaving?" Gwen asked as Naruto and Xiaolin Naruto approached the portal. "I thought I told you that he was taken, girl," Sophia said with a glare as she sat on Xiaolin Naruto's shoulder. "Oh, tension," Naruto said with a grin at this. "No, you morons, I mean I want to help find my dimensions," Naruto Gwen said with a glare at the dragon and Naruto. "As capable as you are, Miss Gwen, I feel taking you from this dimension will just add to our problems," Kit's voice said with a firm tone. Gwen scowled at this, but Xiaolin Naruto looked at her. "Don't worry, I'll make sure your Naruto gets back to you in one piece, you just sit tight and make sure this dimension stays safe until we can fix this," Xiaolin Naruto said with an encouraging smile. "Fine, just make sure that moron version of you doesn't do anything that gets him hurt," Gwen said as she gave Naruto the stink eye. Yeah, why don't you go do your tsundere CRP somewhere else?" Naruto asked as he made a waving motion at Gwen with his hand. "Huh?" Gwen asked, not understanding what Naruto was saying. "Okay, let's go." Xiaolin Naruto yelled as he shoved Naruto through the portal before quickly following him. "What the heck is a tsundere?" Gwen asked as she took out her phone to look it up. "I think I heard Naruto mention that it's a trope in his comics once," Max said as he went to get the rust bucket. "What? I don't like Naruto like that. If I ever see that guitar-swinging idiot again I'll kill him." Gwen yelled as she read what Atsundra was on her phone before going red from embarrassment and anger. Max sighed at this before his eyes widened as he saw something behind Gwen. Get down. He yelled at Gwen. Huh? Gah. Gwen asked before she yelled as what looked like a purple drone flying behind her shot her with a burst of electricity hitting her and tazzing her and knocking her out before the drone quickly grabbed her. So this Dimension's Naruto cares about this one, eh? You will make good leverage, Tac's voice said from the drone before she laughed as the drone carried the unconscious Gwen away and towards the portal in the sky. Gwen. Max yelled after his granddaughter as he could do nothing but watch this happen. With Brad, him and Omni Naruto were making their way through the forest with Brad leading the way. So we have to find this phase shard and then you can get me home? Omni Naruto asked raising an eyebrow at Brad. That's what Kit told me, there are 6 in all that we need to get both shards and Narutos, Brad said with a nod. Great, I have been a hero for a month or so and I'm already in some multiverse shenanigans, Omni Naruto said with a grin. You're happy to be dealing with this? Brad asked raising an eyebrow at this. Oh well, I'm a bit of a hero nerd as my friend Gwen would say, Omni Naruto said as he rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Ah well, at least you have a better mentality than the last variant of Naruto I met, Brad said as he shrugged. Oh. What is a villain or something? Omni Naruto asked curiously. Nah, he's more unhinged and annoying than outright evil from what I have seen, Brad said as he shook his head. He can't be that bad if he's a version of me, Omni Naruto said as they both walked. Remember those words when you meet him, oh. The signal is getting stronger, Brad said as he put his hand to his earpiece. Great, where is this shard? Omni Naruto asked as he looked around. Brad led the way and soon both teens came out of the trees and out onto a cliffside which was overlooking what looked like a base/prison with what looked like a tall black tower in the middle. Looks like you led us to some kind of mining operation, Omni Naruto said as he looked over the cliffside and saw that nearby there were some entrances to a mine along with what looked like a bunch of rock creatures wearing black belts pushing mining carts. Any idea what these things are, Kit? Brad asked as he touched his earpiece which lit up and projected Kit's face. Scans of the rock creatures down below show that they seem to be monsters made out of digital data, Kit said. Digital monsters? Are they friendly? Omni Naruto asked as he looked at Kit. Scans show that the monsters wearing the black rings are actually being controlled by said rings and forced to obey, Kit said as she frowned. So they are slaves? Brad asked as he frowned as what looked like a red monster that looked like a red plant with 2 spiked mallets as arms approached the worker Digimon who had collapsed in exhaustion. Then we should free them, Omni Naruto said with a firm look on his face as he stepped forward and activated the Omnitrix. Whoa. Hold on Whiskers, this isn't our world and we need to find the shard of Pahazi quartz before their rip in dimensions get worse, Brad said as he blocked Omni Naruto's way. Besides, if we fix this problem with the tears in dimensions then this world's Naruto will return to it and he can deal with this, Kit's voice said. I don't care. If someone needs help I help them, no exceptions. Omni Naruto yelled at Brad. Hey, what's going on up there? One of the red creatures yelled as they had heard Omni Naruto yelling. And we're busted, Brad said with a groan as he slapped his forehead as several of the red creatures jumped up to them and surrounded them. Well, look what we have here boys, one of the Digidestined without his partner and some other human, one of the red creatures said with a grin getting laughs from his lackeys. Digidestined? Sounds like a boy band, Brad asked raising an eyebrow at this term. Omni Naruto ignored this and stepped forward and took note that the red creatures were also wearing black rings. Ah, so you're slaves too, he said with a frown. We read VERYYYY work for the Digimon Emperor. You see that control spire? That means this area is his, the leader of the now named VERYYYY yelled as he pointed at the tall tower. Huh, and I bet this emperor wouldn't like it if we trashed it, eh? Brad asked as he looked at the tower and smirked along with Omni Naruto who had an idea what he was thinking. And how are you gonna do that? I don't see your Digimon partner anywhere, so you're helpless, the leader of the VERYYYY yelled with a grin as his men moved to surround them. Let me respond to that in the following way, Brad said with a grin before he shot off into the sky, rocket launcher in hand, firing off a missile down, blasting several VERYYYY into the air. He flew through the sky, shooting off round after round, blasting at everything in his way. Since when do humans have this kind of firepower? One of the VERYYYY yelled in a panic as Brad continued to rain fire on them. Forget him. Go for the helpless one, the leader of the VERYYYY yelled as he pointed at Omni Naruto. Sorry, you have me confused for someone else, Omni Naruto said as ran forward, slamming down on the Omnitrix setting of a green flash of light before he rolled out as cannonbolt, moving through the camp, slamming down into them as he charged. He can turn into a Digimon without his partner, one of the VERYYYY yelped in a panic as cannonbolt started to tear through the mining camp like a wrecking ball. I'm not a Digimon, I'm an alien. Cannonbolt yelled as he ran over some more of the VERYYYY. Come on. Get some. Get some. Brad laughed, shooting off spinning mind air, shooting off rockets, causing explosions to erupt all over the mine. Two VERYYYY thrusted their vines, wrapping them around Brad's legs, tugging him downer to them. OSHT. Brad cursed when a third swung his vine at it, only to get run over by cannonbolt, with Brad shooting the other two with his rockets, knocking them to the ground floor. What are you slackers doing? Take them out. The lead VERYYYY ordered. Whoa, what's up, the aging hipster accent of yours? Cannonbolt said as he rammed into the leader, pushing back slightly, gritting his teeth in annoyance as he tried to hold back the alien hero, only for him to run over him, leaving him as flat as a pancake. Brad hovered in the air and looked around the mining camp as he rested his rocket launcher on his shoulder. Well, we beat them, he said with a grin. Not yet, I got an idea. Cannonbolt smirked as he looked at the control spire. Oh, this is gonna be good. Brad said as he took up behind Cannonbolt, pressing down on his boots, shooting off at maximum speed as Cannonbolt rolled along the ground, shooting off towards the control spire. Brad reared his foot back, kicking into his shell, shooting off, smashing straight through the dark tower. This caused the control spire to start to spark and shake before it cracked and started to fall to the ground. There, now we're done, Cannonbolt said with a grin as he walked out of the debris of the destroyed spire. Not yet, we need to find the shard of phase quartz. Kit, you have a lock on it? Brad said as he tapped his earpiece. It's close, Mr. Carbuncle, I'm gonna assume it's somewhere in this now destroyed mining camp. Nice job, by the way. Remind me to tell our Naruto to suggest putting you through some training so you can help more, Kit's voice said with an amused tone. Alright. Brad said with an excited grin, which caused him to accidentally fire his rocket launcher, which sent a rocket at a cliffside, making it explode. Oi. We just got free of being slaves, you trying to kill us? One of the rock creatures yelled up at Brad. Never mind, Kit said with a sigh at this show of incompetence. DMN it. Brad yelled with a scowl at this. You rock guys okay? Cannonbolt asked as he looked at the rock creatures, who all now looked at him. Rock guys? We're Gotsamen, one of the rock creatures said. Yeah, we're very common, you should know that you're a Digimon, aren't you? One of the Gotsamen asked as they all looked at Cannonbolt curiously. Not exactly, look, we're looking for something important, can you help us? Cannonbolt asked with a chuckle. Sure, you freed us, what you looking for? One of the Gotsamen asked. Just make sure the moron with the rocket launcher keeps that thing holstered, one of the Gotsamen said as he and the others looked at Brad. Brad sheepishly chuckled at this before he made his rocket launcher disappear. We're looking for a piece of rock that's very important, it's purple and should be sparking with energy, Cannonbolt said, remembering Kit's description. Oh, that? The red Vegemon had that packed up ready to take to the Digimon Emperor, one of the Gotsamen said as he perked up, recognizing this description. Great! Can you get it for us? Brad asked with a grin as he hovered down to them. We can get it for him, Captain Trigger Happy, one of the Gotsamen said as he gave Brad a dirty look as one of them brought out a bag and opened it, showing them a glowing piece of rock. That's it. Brad said with a grin as he grabbed it. Excellent, stand by for extraction, Kit's voice said. Where we heading now? Cannonbolt asked Brad as he pocketed the shard. Now we head back to my dimension, more specificity my Naruto's lab, Brad said with a grin. Wait, your Naruto actually has a lab? Cannonbolt asked, raising an eyebrow at this. Where do you think I got my rocket launcher from? My Naruto has all kinds of crazy weapons, one of which being why this mess even happened, Brad said as he jerked a thump at the giant portal in the sky. Cannonbolt frowned at this, but before he could respond a blue portal opened next to them. Okay, please enter through that and you will be back at the lab, Mr. Carbuncle, and, Kit was saying before she trailed off, not knowing what to call this variant of her MSTR. Cannonbolt's Omnitrix symbol started to flash red at this, and suddenly in a flash of red he was Omni Naruto. Again, call me Omni Naruto if you want something, tells me nicknames are gonna be needed if you're dealing with other versions of me, he said with a sigh. Omni Naruto it is now if you please, Kit said. Omni Naruto and Brad nodded at this before they quickly walked through the portal which closed behind them. As this happened, some figures came through the trees, one of which was a young pre-teen girl with short red hair wearing a loose-fitting shirt and jeans. Along with her was what looked like a pink-furred dog. Okay, let's tear this place apart. The girl yelled with a grin as she held up her digivice. Himawari, the control spire is already destroyed, the dog said with a female voice. Say what? Who beat us here? Himawari yelled as she looked at the Gotsuman. Two humans, one with a rocket launcher and one who turned into an alien, one of the Gotsuman said with a nervous look along with his fellow Gotsuman. Oh well, that's okay, you think I'm gonna buy that? Himawari was saying with a kind smile before ever tone changed, and she shouted loudly, clearly not believing them. This caused the Gotsuman to yell in fear as they all ran away. Hima. Will you stop being a moron? A male's voice said as a pre-teen boy ran into the clearing. He had short brown hair, was wearing a vest with a fire pattern and goggles on his head, and with him was a blue lizard creature with a yellow V symbol on his forehead. Who are you calling a moron, Davy? Himawari yelled as she turned to glare at the new arrival. That's Davis Humanic. And we have a problem, Mimi is now missing along with your brother. The now named Davis yelled at Himawari. Oh. Maybe they eloped or something, Himawari said with a snicker at this along with Labramon. Will you come on? We need to help the search effort. Davis yelled as he glared at the young girl. Alright, keep your goggles on, Davy, Himawari dayed with a sigh as she walked past Davis into the forest. That's Davis and she's gone, Davis said with a sigh as he and his Digimon partner ran after her. With Jenny. Jenny groaned as she regained consciousness. What hit me? What the? She groaned out as she tried to move, but she found she was chained up against a wall in the same room she was in, and after a few moments she spotted Wednesday and Fester nearby with DG Naruto and Impmon both tied to chairs as Wednesday had a sizzling hot poker pointed at them. Are you already awake? Impressive that, or you're losing your touch, uncle, Wednesday said as she turned to look at Jenny before her gaze turned to Fester. Hey, I gave her a full blast, she must be really resistant if she's already awake, Fester said as he crossed his arms, clearly annoyed at this. What the heck is your problem? Jenny yelled as she easily broke free of her chains and glared at Wednesday. Whoa, the cheerleader is strong, Impmon said, his eyes widening at this show of strength. My problem is that I was working with my accomplice in hunting down a monster that has been killing people, and suddenly this fool and his pet shows up replacing him, Wednesday said as she glared at Jenny as she put the red-hot poker to DG Naruto's face. Pet. Screw you, you po-looking geek. Impmon yelled put as he struggled to get loose but stopped as what looked like a living hand slugged him in the jaw. Thank you thing, Wednesday said with an even tone as she glared at DG Naruto. I told you I have no idea what is going on. Do you really think I wouldn't talk after all of this? DG Naruto yelled as Wednesday slowly moved the hot poker closer to his face. Let us go. If you hadn't taken his digivice I would make you sorry, Impmon yelled as he continued to struggle. Wednesday ignored this as she moved to apply the poker to DG Naruto's skin, but suddenly she heard a struggle behind her and she turned, seeing Jenny had grabbed Fester and threw him against the wall before she grabbed Wednesday's arm, stopping the poker. Look, you're obviously just upset your Naruto was replaced with this one, so let's just, hey. Jenny was saying before Wednesday quickly turned and slammed her fist into her neck before she jammed her knuckles into her eyes and shoved her away from her. Whatever you are, it would seem your vital areas are still vulnerable even if they are more durable. Good, this means you will take more effort, Wednesday said as she took out a knife she had been hiding in her wrist and looked at Jenny with a cold stare. Whoa, you're a strong one, girly, don't think you will get the jump on me again dash, Fester was saying as he approached Jenny from behind before Jenny's microbots burst out of her and swarmed him, slamming him against the nearby wall. You're not getting anywhere near me again, and point those hands somewhere else, egghead, Jenny said with a firm tone as the microbots forced Fester's hands against the wall so he couldn't try anything. Let him go or ill dash, Wednesday was saying before she was cut off. You're not the one in charge anymore now that I have my own hostage, but seeing as I'm not as nuts as you, I'll offer you a deal, Jenny said as she glared at Wednesday. I'm listening, Wednesday said as despite her instincts telling her to attack she knew she shouldn't risk Fester's safety when she didn't know all of what Jenny's abilities were. You let them go and I let him go, and to sweeten the deal I'll even answer any questions you have, which includes what happened to your dimensions Naruto, Jenny said as she gestured to DG Naruto and Impmon then Fester. You answer my questions first or no deal, Wednesday said with a firm tone after a few moments of thought. Fine, Jenny said as she nodded in agreement. You mentioned dimensions when referring to Naruto, I assume this means this fool is from another dimension then? Wednesday asked as she gestured to DG Naruto. Yes, Jenny said as she nodded at this. How is he here and where is the Naruto I'm familiar with? Wednesday asked. There was an accident with a dimensional device in my dimension and it caused several Narutos to be moved around dimensions in addition to cause holes in dimensions to be ripped open, Jenny said as she looked out of the shattered window at the open portal in the sky. So this is your fault? Wednesday asked as her eyes narrowed slightly. What? No. Jenny yelled, surprised at this accusation. Then it's your Naruto's fault? Fester asked curiously. No. Jenny yelled as she looked at Fester. You said your Naruto made the device that caused this, Wednesday said with a firm tone. Yeah, but it was stolen by this alien and during the fight it was damaged and then this happened, Jenny said as she turned to look at Wednesday. Aliens? Wednesday asked with a raised eyebrow and an emotionless look on her face. You are in a school for werewolves, vampires and all sorts of other things and you have a different version of your boy toy tied up along with me, is that really the live of believable for you? Impmon asked with a look of annoyance. Before Wednesday kicked him in the side, sending Impmon and the char flying on its side. If you wish to be freed unharmed I would be silent as the dead, Wednesday said with a cold tone as she glared at Impmon. Look, just calm down, Jenny said as she held up her hands in a calming manner. Yeah, listen to the kick but cheerleader, DG Naruto said with a nervous chuckle as Wednesday glared at him. I assume you're here to find this fool and send him home in addition to finding my dimensions Naruto and bringing him back? Wednesday asked as she looked at Jenny as she gestured to DG Naruto. Yes, I'm also here looking for a shard of a substance that was sent here that can help fix this, Jenny said as she nodded. And I suppose you will be needing this shard before you can leave with this fool? Wednesday asked as she started to understand what was going on. Exactly, Jenny said as she nodded and lightly smiled at the fact Wednesday was starting to understand. And why would I believe such a story? Wednesday asked with a firm tone. Huh? Jenny asked, surprised at this question. There are plenty of more reasonable explanations for what is going on. For one, you could be using some kind of hypnosis and drags to make Naruto believe he is someone else and to make everyone think there is a rip in the sky, Wednesday said as she took out her knife again and glared at Jenny. Oh, come on. Impmon yelled from his place on the ground as he tried to get loose from his ropes. How the heck could I have brainwashed him into thinking he was someone else? Jenny asked as she pointed at DG Naruto. It's more common than you would think, girly, Fester said with a grin. Before Jenny could respond to this, everyone heard a ear-piercing roar from outside. Suddenly the door to the room opened and what looked like two teens barged into the room. One was a teen girl with blonde hair with pink and blue highlights and multicolored nails. This was Enid Sinclair. Next to her was a teen boy with black hair that was messy and wild. He also had what looked like red triangles on his cheeks. This was Kiba Inuzuka. Wednesday, we need to get out of, what the heck? Enid was saying before she saw what was going on. I figured you would tie Naruto up eventually, but I didn't see you involving others just yet. Adams, boy. Kiba was saying before he ducked, avoiding a thrown knife thrown by Wednesday. I am busy dealing with a possible intruder who has brainwashed Naruto into thinking he's some useless idiot with a pet demon, Wednesday said as she pulled out another knife. Oi. I'm not useless. DG Naruto yelled out at this. Yeah, and I'm not a pet DMN. I'm a friend. And get this severed hand away from me. It's giving me the creeps. Impmon yelled as he looked at Thing, who was in front of him, and flipped him off at his words. What's going on? Jenny asked as they all heard people outside yelling in a panic. Oh right. Something is coming through that rip in the sky, and Weems said all students are to gather and evacuate from the castle, Enid said as she looked at Wednesday. Wait, this is a school. DG Naruto asked curiously, taking an eyebrow at this. Yeah, I thought this was just the crazy goth chick's fortress where she hides her victims' bodies, Impmon said as he looked up at them. You hit your head, buddy. Who's the imp? A friend of your mom's? Kiba asked DG Naruto as he approached him. I'm not your Naruto DMN. DG Naruto yelled as he struggled to get loose from his ropes. Are either of you familiar with the multiverse theory? Jenny asked the two new arrivals, hoping they could help her with convincing Wednesday. That thing where there are actual other worlds with different versions of people? Enid asked, raising an eyebrow at this. This caused everyone to look at her curiously, surprised at her response. What? I read more than blogs and fashion magazines, you know, Enid said as she slightly pouted. Look, something is coming through that tear in the sky and we need to get out of here. Kiba said as he looked at Wednesday. Not happening, Wednesday said with a firm tone as she looked at Jenny with a cold look of mistrust. Jenny ignored this and flew over to the nearby window and looked outside, seeing that the tear in the sky was sparking violently as if something was trying to force its way through it. Suddenly what looked like a pair of claws forced its way through the tear in space, and soon what looked like a creature that looked like a mix between devil and a dragon forced its head through the tear and roared loudly, causing the people outside to scream in terror before the creature flew out of the tear and towards the school grounds. Jenny's eyes narrowed at this before she took off flying, put the window to go confront the monster. Wednesday's eyes slightly widened in shock at this. Oh wow, I think they aren't lying, Wednesday, Fester said as he too looked surprised, which was hard to do. What the heck is that? Kiba yelled out in shock as the creature flew over the castle. That is a Digimon, short for digital monster, like my friend Impmon here, DG Naruto said as he jerked his head at Impmon. More specifically a Dividramon, very nasty, Impmon said. Wait, you two deal with these kind of things? Kiba asked as he looked at DG Naruto and Impmon, surprised. You're kinda small to be dealing with something that scary, aren't you? Enid asked as she helped Impmon by sitting his chair up so he was sitting up again. I could help if the psycho would give Naruto back his Digivice. And I'm not a child. Impmon yelled at Enid, who hid behind Kiba at his outburst. What's it gonna be, Miss Adams? We are more than willing to help with this thing, but you have to trust me and Impmon, DG Naruto said as he looked at Wednesday. Wednesday looked at DG Naruto in the eyes, and after a few moments she threw her knife at his wrist, cutting his ropes and freeing him. You better be useful, she said with a cold tone. No problem, I'll just need my Digivice, DG Naruto said as he freed himself. Don't forget freeing me. Impmon yelled out as he shook himself in his chair. Wednesday rolled her eyes at this as she walked over to Impmon and freed him from his ropes before she reached into her pocket and took out DG Naruto's Digivice and threw it to him, which he caught. Let's go back up the cheerleader, buddy, DG Naruto said with a grin at Impmon. No problem. She at least seems mentally sound. Impmon said with a grin as he followed DG Naruto out of the room through the door. Come on, we should follow before Weems comes looking for us, Wednesday said as she led the way out of her and Enid's room with her roommate and her boyfriend close behind her. I'll just hang out here then. Fester asked as he was still stuck to the wall thanks to Jenny's microbots. Outside. Dividruman roared, hanging on the rooftop of Nevermore overlooking the school, watching as the students and faculty ran in panic. Hey, Patchwork. Dividruman looked up to see Jenny coming in, forming her blasters, shooting off blast after blasts upon the dragon Devimon. The attacks hit along his face, making him growl in anger and annoyance, opening its jaws to unleash a stream of fire upon the cyborg girl. Jenny zipped through the air in figure 8, evading the flames when his claw came smacking her down like a bug into the courtyard grounds. That ain't no way to treat a lady, bub. Impmon shouted as he and Naruto rushed over to Jenny. I'm fine, you two gonna be okay to help after your encounter with that crazy girl? Jenny asked as she stood up. You bet. Let's go, Impmon. DG Naruto said, thrusting up his Digivice. Impmon warp Digivolve too. Impmon jumped into the air as orange and purple energy surrounded him, forming into large egg of data, shattering to reveal. Bailman. Bailman shouted, holding up his rifle, shooting off bullets, knocking Dividruman off his perch and into the sky, flying after him. Whoa, Jenny said, her eyes widening at the power reading her scanners were giving her after they canned Bailman. The angel and devil Digimon hovered through the sky ready to fight. The dragon's eyes shined bright red, sending a shockwave through Bailman's body, making him freeze up. Dividruman smirking, holding up his claws coated in darkness, striking him down with a powerful slash, knocking him back. Jenny flew up, catching Bailman, helping him up. Let's take him together. Jenny said as she easily helped him up. You got it. Bailman said with a grin. They charged forward at the massive Digimon, shooting off in opposite directions, Jenny the left, Bailman the right, firing off blasts from both sides before rushing in, Jenny coating her fist in nanites, morphing her arms into huge armored fists, smashing them into the side Dividruman's face, then into his chest. She then grabbed his shoulder, slamming into him with a nanite enhanced headbutt, making him cry out in pain from the strike. Bailman kicked his chest. He pulled out his Dashenbian, thrusting the wrapping it tightly around the beast's neck, tugging tightly as he landed on the dragon Digimon back. Giddy up, you loser. Bailman yelled as he pulled on his Dashenbian, causing Dividruman to screech before taking off into the sky. Good idea. Take the fight away from the school. Then finish him off. DG Naruto yelled up at them. We're on it. Jenny yelled as she flew off after the fleeing Dividruman. DG Naruto sighed in relief at this as Wednesday, Kiba and Enid ran over. This convince you were on your side yet? He asked as he slightly backed away from Wednesday just in case. It would seem I was wrong about you and your Digimon, you called him? Wednesday asked curiously as she looked at DG Naruto. Yeah, that's what he is. Why? This isn't gonna be some he's a monster 2 CRP, is it? DG Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. Kiba laughed at this while Enid giggled a bit as if they both knew something he didn't. What? DG Naruto asked, not getting what was funny. Ignore them, so I'm assuming you use that Digivice to share your energy with your Digimon so he can grow more powerful and fight? Wednesday asked as she looked at DG Naruto's Digivice curiously. Exactly. Wow, you are a smart one if you figured that much out just from watching one battle, DG Naruto said with a smile. So you're just a living battery and not actually useful in a fight, Wednesday said with a monotone. DG Naruto face planted into the dirt hard at this, causing Kiba to wince in sympathy and Enid to frown. Let's go find your partner and that robot girl. With Jenny. Jenny was flying over the forest after the Dividruman which Bailman was still riding. Hiya. Shamo hiya. Bailman yelled as he shot at Dividruman's, but with his blaster making the dragon Digimon roar in anger as he tried to throw him off. We're away from civilians now, let's wrap this up. Jenny yelled as she fired her blasters at Dividruman's face, making him screech in pain. Balman nodded at this before he stood up and jumped over to the side of Devimon's mouth and shoved his blaster into his mouth. Say ah. He yelled with a grin as he pulled the trigger. Devimon roared in pain as the blaster went off, blasting holes in the back of his mouth, causing him to start to fall to the forest below. Little extreme, don't you think? Jenny asked as she fired over and caught Balman and carried him towards the ground. Hey, he started it, plus Digimon don't really die, their data just gets reconfigured and they get reborn, hopefully with a better attitude, Balman said as they landed on the ground. Before in a flash of light Balman turned back into Impmon. Gah. I usually can keep my form longer, must be too far from Naruto, Impmon groaned out. Well, if it helps, you're kinda cute in this form, Jenny said with a chuckle at the imp Digimon. Give him time, his mouth ruins it, DG Naruto said as he ran over with Wednesday, Kiba and Enid close behind. Oi. Since when do you crack jokes about me? Impmon yelled as he stomped his foot in frustration. Cause Palmon isn't here and I have to cover for her to keep you humble, DG Naruto said with a grin as he patted his partner on the head. Okay, now that we have dealt with that monster, let's find that shard of phase quartz and get out of here, Jenny said as she activated a holographic scanner which started to ping. Whoa, what exactly are you? Kiba asked, surprised at seeing this. I'm a cyborg built to protect my dimension's Earth, Jenny said casually as she focused on getting a reading on her scanner. Why would anyone make Earth's protector a cyborg if you could make a full robot? Wednesday asked as she raised an eyebrow at this. Well, the human element can count for a lot, Enid said as she smiled at Jenny, who smiled back at this. Thanks, now according to my scanner it says the shard is near me, Jenny said as she looked at her holographic display. Ah, is this it? Wednesday asked as she reached into her pocket and pulled out what looked like a purple rock shard. You had that the whole time? Jenny yelled as she snatched the shard from Wednesday. Where did you find that? DG Naruto asked curiously. My uncle Fester found it and was going to sell it, but it was giving me a strange feeling, so I made him hand it over to me for safekeeping. Obviously that was the right move if it means you can use it to get my dimension's Naruto back here, Wednesday said as she gave Jenny a cold glare. If all goes well he should be back before you know it. Now you two get ready to leave, Jenny said to Wednesday before she turned to look at DG Naruto and Impmon as she tapped her ear. Where are we heading? DG Naruto asked. Yeah, it better have food, Impmon said with a frown as he held his stomach a bit. We're heading back to my dimension, more specifically my Naruto's lab, Jenny said as a blue portal appeared in front of them. Great, a nerd version of you, Impmon said with a groan as he and DG Naruto approached the portal and walked through it. Sorry for the trouble and don't worry, I'll ask sure your Naruto isn't hurt, Jenny said with a nod at Wednesday before she to walk through the portal which closed behind them. Wednesday said nothing to this before she turned to walk back towards the school but paused as she saw Kiba and Enid smiling at them. What? She asked, raising an eyebrow at them. You're Naruto? Enid asked with a smile while Kiba snickered. Wednesday's eyes narrowed at this, but before she could respond to this a purple portal opened up underneath her feet, causing her to fall through it. Wednesday! Enid yelled as her and Kiba jumped at the portal, but it quickly closed before they could do anything. With Sheldon. Meanwhile with Sheldon, he was taking cover behind a boulder in the training grounds of the Shaolin Temple as the Shaolin monks attacked Nevermore Naruto. Incoming! Raimundo yelled as he was thrown past Sheldon and crashed into a training dummy. Well, they were trying to at least. You will not defeat us, monst, hey! Omi was saying as he took a battle stance, but before he could attack a BLD tentacle grabbed him by his legs and lifted him up. You're getting annoying, Baldy, Nevermore Naruto growled as he sneered at Omi, showing him his fangs. Then he's doing his job, partner. Earth! Clay yelled as he sent a kick at Nevermore Naruto's head, but he easily moved his head to the side before he grabbed his leg and with a swing of his arm started Torong Dal Clay, slamming him into the ground. Geez, how strong is this guy? Kimiko asked as her eyes widened seeing this show of brute strength. I don't know, but he is getting annoyed, oof. Raimundo was saying as he got up before Omi landed on him along with Clay, who crushed both of them under his big frame. Nevermore Naruto turned and glared at Kimiko as she took a fighting stance. "You gonna call me names too? 'Cause I'll tell you now, I'm not afraid to hurt a girl," he said with a cold tone as he made a BLD hammer in his hands as he approached her. "Whoa! Hold on!" Sheldon yelled as he used his rocket boots fly in between Kimiko and Nevermore Naruto, holding his hands up in a peaceful way. Nevermore Naruto raised an eyebrow at this as he paused as he used his empath ability to read what Sheldon's surface emotions were and was surprised seeing that unlike the other four he didn't seem angry or wanting to fight, so he stopped his approach. "Okay, good, now I'm guessing you are just confused on where you are and don't like being called what they called you," Sheldon said as he gestured to the Shaolin monks and dojo who was hiding under a bench nearby. "Yeah, I prefer the term outcast or vamp if you want to use some more specific slang," Nevermore Naruto said as he nodded. "Vamp? As in vampire?" Raimundo asked as he finally got out from underneath Clay and Omi. "No wonder our friend has turned evil if he's become a vampire," Omi said as he frowned and crossed his arms. "Oi! Not all vampires are evil, Baldy." Nevermore Naruto yelled, his eyes going red as he shouted. Omi yelled at this and hid behind Clay. "Wait, who even are you?" Kimiko asked as she looked at Sheldon. "Yeah, you seem to know the most about what's going on, partner," Clay said as he looked at Sheldon. "I'm here for him and to find something that can help me and my group get your Naruto back here," Sheldon said as he pointed at Nevermore Naruto. "Their Naruto?" Nevermore Naruto asked, raising an eyebrow curiously at this. "Keep talking," Kimiko said as she lowered her stance hearing this. "Okay, you know that hole in the sky?" Sheldon asked as he pointed up at said tear in the sky. "It's hard to miss, partner," Clay said as he adjusted his pat. "Indeed, our friend Jack said he was gonna go inspect it for a bit, said something about it being a possible tear between dimensions," Omi said as he nodded. "Well, that friend of yours was correct," Sheldon said as he was glad someone here was on the right track. I owe him $20, Raimundo said as he snapped his fingers. "Wait, so he's a Naruto from a different dimension?" Clay said as he pointed at Nevermore Naruto. "Exactly, he and several other Narutos were switched around when this happened," Sheldon said as he pointed at the portal in the sky. "So where is our Naruto?" Kimiko asked as she glared at Sheldon. Is there something going on with her?" Nevermore Naruto asked Dojo. "She's dating our Naruto," Dojo said as he slithered over to him. No wonder her attacks were half-assed," Nevermore Naruto said with a chuckle. "Oi! You don't know me, BLD Sugger!" Kimiko yelled as she turned to yell at Nevermore Naruto, breathing some fire from her mouth. "You call that an insult? That's a compliment among us vampires. Also, I would know, I know a girl that's a real fighter and she always goes for the kill," Nevermore Naruto said with a grin. "Is that attractive to you?" Raimundo asked, raising an eyebrow at this. "Hey, don't judge me, that kind of thing is our way of flirting, at least I think it is," Nevermore Naruto said with a sheepish chuckle. "Are all relationships this complicated?" Omi asked curiously as he tilted his head in confusion. "The best ones are Baldy," Nevermore Naruto said with a smile that showed off his fangs. "Hey, if you're a vampire, how can you be out in the sun?" Raimundo asked curiously as he just realized that this Naruto had been out in the sun all day. Different breed of vampire, and not all of those stereotypes are true, so let's not go down the list, okay? Nevermore Naruto asked as he rolled his eyes a bit at this. "So you need to find this shard of phase quartz and then you and this goth version of Naruto can leave and go fix this so my Naruto can come back?" Kimiko asked Sheldon. "Exactly," Sheldon said as he nodded in confirmation at this. "What's it look like, partner?" Clay asked as they were all ready to help if it meant getting their Naruto back. "It looks like this," Sheldon said as he held out his hand, which started to project a holographic image of the shard of phase quartz. "If you have it on your hand, why do we need to look for it?" Omi asked as he looked at the image. It's a holographic image Omi, Kimiko said as she shook her head at the little monk's ignorance. Think of it like a picture, Raimundo said trying to keep it simple for the youngest of them. Hey, wasn't Jack keeping something like that in his lab? Dojo asked as he took a look at the image. Oh right, he was scanning that thing before he took off. I'm a hurry to go take a look at that rip in the sky, Kimiko said as she nodded. So it's here? Sheldon asked as he made the holographic image disappear. That's convenient, nevermore Naruto said as he crossed his arms. I'll go get it, you all sit tight, Dojo said as he slithered off towards a garage nearby. So what's the plan once we get the shard? Nevermore Naruto asked Sheldon. We head back to my dimension, more specifically my Naruto's lab. Hopefully Kit will have a plan fix this when the rest of the team brings the other shards, Sheldon said with a smile, glad that things were working out. Your Naruto has a lab? Raimundo asked, raising an eyebrow at this. So he's a mad scientist like our Jack Spicer back when he was evil? Omi asked in a panic as he clapped his hands against his cheeks. No, he uses the tech there to help our cyborg friend Jenny protect Earth, Sheldon said as he gave Omi a bewildered look. Tarantin, your Naruto must be wicked smart if he has his own lab, Clay said with a smile. Yeah, our Naruto is so dense he didn't figure out Kimiko liked him until recently, after at least half a year, Raimundo said with a snicker. Before Kimiko stomped HRD on his foot, making him cry out in pain. My Naruto is pretty dense too, Sheldon said with a chuckle as he thought about his friend's obvious attraction to Jenny and vice versa. Must be a common theme for Naruto's. Tell me, variant of my friend, are you dense? Omi asked as he looked at Nevermore Naruto. Does he know he's insulating me, or is he just stupid? Nevermore Naruto asked as he looked at Clay. We prefer the term ignorant partner, Clay said with a chuckle. Hey Dojo, get the lead out. Kimiko yelled after the small dragon. I'm moving. This thing is giving me weird vibes. Dojo yelled as he slithered towards them carrying the shard of phase quartz. Finally. Now let's dash, Sheldon was saying before they all heard yelling as what looked like a spacecraft crashed nearby. Looks like Jack is back, Raimundo said with a sigh at this as they all tan over to the crashed ship. My friend Jack, are you okay? Omi asked as he knocked on the door of the spacecraft. Do I sound like I'm okay? Get me out of here. Jack's voice bellowed out from inside the spacecraft. Hold on, I got ya, Nevermore Naruto said as he made some BLD tentacles come out of his wrists. That is so gross, Kimiko said as her face went green seeing this. Nevermore Naruto ignored this as the BLD tentacles went sharp and pierced the edges of the ship's door and easily ripped it open, revealing Jack, who quickly came out of the ship. Since when can you do that, Naruto? Jack asked as he looked at Nevermore Naruto. Not your Naruto Jack, right? Nevermore Naruto asked as he made his BLD tentacles reseed into his body. Yeah, he's from another dimension, so here's your $20, Raimundo said as he took out said money. He switched places with our Naruto, Kimiko said with an annoyed look. Oi, it's not like I could control that happening. From what I'm hearing it's his Naruto's fault, Nevermore Naruto said as he jerked a thumb at Sheldon. You're actually from another dimension. This is the biggest scientific discovery ever. Jack yelled as he smiled at Nevermore Naruto. Jack, focus, we need to get him and our guest out of here so they can fix this, Kimiko said as she rolled her eyes. Yeah, you should focus on your driving, you obviously need more practice, Nevermore Naruto said as he looked at the crashed ship. Hey, that wasn't my fault, while I was scanning that tear in the sky something attacked me. Jack yelled as he looked at the variant of his friend. Wait, something came out of the tear? Sheldon asked as his eyes widened. Incoming from above. Dojo yelled as he pointed in the air. As something dropped down and crashed into the dirt near them. Everyone stay alert. We don't know, we may be facing, Sheldon yelled as he made his pixelator appear in his hands. Where did you get that? Is that a weapon from your diamond dash? Jack was asking before he was cut off. Focus. Kimiko yelled as she looked at Jack. As she did this, what looked like a giant tongue shot out of the kicked-up smoke and grabbed the phase quartz Dojo was holding before yanking it out of his hands. "Hey! We need that!" Dojo yelled as the quartz was pulled away. The smoke cleared, showing what looked like a giant mutated frog who promptly ate the phase quartz as he retracted his tongue. We need that, don't we?" Nevermore Naruto asked the group. "Yeah we do," Sheldon said as he frowned. "You two up for a fight?" Raimundo asked as they all took ready stances. "Yeah, I can help I guess," Sheldon said. "Me too, though I'm not exactly trained for combat like you guys," Nevermore Naruto said as he shrugged. "And yet you kicked all of our butts, most impressive," Omi said as he nodded at Nevermore Naruto. "Wait, he did?" Jack asked curiously as he raised an eyebrow at this. The frog launched its tongue, striking Omi dead on knocking him back. "You good little man," Raimundo said, running to Omi's side, cringing as the water dragon rose up covered in slime. "I feel very violated," Omi uttered, shaken from the experience. "Third arm sash earth!" Clay yelled. The stone fist swung towards the frog. The mutant latched its tongue around Clay's stone arm, yanking him directly into its mouth. MMPH. LMMT. MMM. Clay grunted, trying to break out of the creature's mouth. Star Hanabi fire, /sword of the storm wind. Kimiko fired a surge blast of fire while Raimundo swung his sword around it, forming a massive flaming tornado. The frog growled as the flames burned into its scales. It puffed up its cheeks, spitting out the captive earth dragon, slamming him into his fellow monks. "You, frog slime!" Kimiko groaned out. "Actually, it's mucus," Raimundo corrected. "It's disgusting," Kimiko said as she shuddered. "This thing is pretty strong for a frog. We should make a plan," and Jack was saying before he was cut off. "Banzanzai." The monks looked up as Nevermore Naruto, who was up in the air above them, held up a massive BLD mallet in his hands, twirling it in his hands before he dropped down at the mutant frog, smashing his mallet down on the frog's head, blowing its eyes and tongue out of its mouth and sockets. He reared the back before knocking the frog up into the air. The mutant crashed into the ground. Nevermore Naruto jumped into the air, slamming down his hammer hard, splattering purple BLD and gunk everywhere. Smash! Smash, 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 smash. Bwaha, bwaha, ha 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 ha. Nevermore Naruto laughed, slamming down his hammer again and again into the creature's remains. Holy sht. Omi uttered, his eyes widening at this show of brutality. Rai, Kimiko, and Clay's, who were frozen in shock from carnage at hand, all had bugged eyes, looking down at Omi with even more disbelief. "What the heck is he?" Jack yelled out in terror of what he just witnessed. "Oh yeah, he's a vampire apparently, which probably explains the love of gore," Kimiko said as she shuddered a bit. "Vampire?" Jack yelled in a panic at hearing this. "Ah-ha! Got it, this what we need, Sheldon." Nevermore Naruto yelled as he reached into the remains of the now splattered frog and lifted up what looked like the shard of phase quartz, which was covered in the splattered remains of the frog just like him. Yeah, you keep it for now," Sheldon said with a nervous chuckle as he tapped his earpiece to contact Kit. "Okay," Nevermore Naruto said as he put away the shard in his pocket. "Kit, I have the variant and the shard," Sheldon said as he activated his earpiece. "Excellent, prepare for extraction," Kit's voice said as a blue portal opened up. "This our ride to your Naruto's lab?" Nevermore Naruto asked as he approached the portal. "Yup, okay, you guys just hold down the fort here and don't worry, your Naruto will be back before you know it," Sheldon said as he smiled at the monks. "He better be," Kimiko said as she gave Sheldon a glare as some smoke came out of her mouth. "Oh, relax, if your Naruto is anything like me, he's probably working hard so he can help fix this so he gets back to you," Nevermore Naruto said as he looked at Kimiko. Kimiko paused at this before she smiled a little as she thought about this. "Yeah, that sounds like him," she said as she nodded. "Hey, you be sure to watch our Naruto's back, okay?" Raimundo said as he gave Nevermore Naruto a smile, getting a nod in return. Sorry for the confusion when we met, partner, Clay said as he adjusted his hat. Indeed, please accept my humble apologies for calling you a monster, Omi said as he bowed his head. Nevermore. Naruto blinked at this before he chuckled. Hey, you guys aren't that bad yourselves. Makes me wish my dimension had humans like you, he said with a smile before he walked through the portal with Sheldon close behind him before it closed. I gotta say, besides the BLD and gore stuff, he was not so bad, Raimundo said as he smiled. Indeed, I must remember not to prejudge people in the future, Omi said as he nodded. Yeah, now who's gonna clean up? Clay asked as he gestured to the remains of the mutated frog. Not it. Raimundo, Jack, Dojo and Omi yelled together. Kimiko groaned at this, but before she could say anything a purple portal appeared underneath her, causing her to fall into it. Kimiko, the others yelled as they moved to approach the portal, but it quickly closed. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 4. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.